Okay.
Wait, how does it know that's waiting? Like,
It
so
knows
if you're like
it
if you're
knows.
logged in but you don't start.
It's because I did not hit the button that says you go live.
Ah, okay.
I did not hit
All
that
right,
button.
cool. We're
Yeah.
only 5 minutes behind because of me.
Well, because of me, because I pushed the. Well, also you had to download something, right?
I had to download something, but then I was eating some really delicious steak,
Oh, that doesn't hurt.
and I was like, yeah, it was fantastic.
You know the I had did I tell you about the coconut?
No.
Oh man, because you know how you're into healthy drinks and
Yep.
stuff. I
Yep.
had a
What do you think coconut?
I did the screwdriver
Hey.
thing and then got the screwdriver,
Oh, there we go.
got the
I see.
water out of the coconut.
Yep.
Oh man, it was so good. It was like real.
Looks good, man. You're looking good.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
You're not in the jungle anymore.
No, I'm in the forest, forest mountain,
Nice. Well,
changing it up.
I'm still in my bedroom.
Well, that's okay. That's a great place to code, right? So,
Yeah.
but anyway,
How was your week?
my week. Let's see. I'm going. Things are going well. You know, I actually am progressing well with the current like game that I'm not really telling anyone about. And then
Okay.
even the one I showed you, because I'm
Yep.
working on two. I'm working on my main game, and then also another one, so that way I don't have as big of a gap between releases too. And then so that one's
Mm,
going good. So
okay.
so hopefully that's you know gets. I'm gonna talk more about it as things progress and stuff, but I don't think it's a big deal right now.
Got it. I. The funniest thing I saw is like I told you, there's only one mobile app game that I play,
Mm-hmm.
Empires and Puzzles, and it's like it's basically Bejeweled plus some RPG elements and some maybe some Sims elements.
Mm.
Essentially, there was an ad I saw on another game that looked very similar, and I thought it was the same game, but it wasn't. And then I clicked on it, and it literally looked exactly the same. And then I went to YouTube and I just Googled the game, literally the code looked completely ripped. Like the
Mm.
the guy who was reviewing, or some guy was like, literally every screen looks identical.
Mm.
They just changed the artwork for basically everything else. And it's funny. The top comment was like, I would be surprised if they don't get sued. And I would be too, because literally everything, like down to like how you level your character, how the actual screen of your character looks, how the actual skills are. Like they're identical to the T. It was like copy pasted, but just a different hero name.
Huh.
Um,
Do you think they got
yeah,
access to the code, or that they just did a really
yeah.
meticulous?
Well, that's the thing. I think they must have either had access to the code, because I don't think it's an open source game,
Hmm.
and they just copy pasted. Like literally, if you watch the video, it's like a 3 minute video. He walks through the entire game, and it's like every single aspect of it, like the troop aspect, the Sims aspect, the Bejeweled aspect, all the heroes' skills were identical essentially, but they were just renamed. And it's one of the top 10, I think, games for that. So
Hmm.
I'm surprised they have that much gall to do that on a big platform like
So my question is, were they in the exact same spots as the other one too?
yes,
That's a
identical.
giveaway. That's a giveaway.
Identical.
Because it's very tricky to make an interface exactly the same. Because if you're making a game right, the first like I'm spending a lot of time on my current like interface stuff, and
Hmm.
I'm always like, I want this to be unique. I want this to be my way, right?
Right,
So
right.
it goes against your own developer like instincts for things to be exactly the same as
Well,
something
yeah,
else.
it's like an artist, right? Like there's no way on accident it would be exactly the same, like for
Right.
every single screen. It's impossible. It's like back in high school when I was like writing essays. They're like, there's no way that you would have made the exact same sentence. There's just
Mm,
no way you would have copied.
mm,
Um,
right.
so
Yeah.
it was interesting to see that, because that's like the only game I'm playing right now and
Hmm.
doing my dailies on, just because it's easy enough and it's
Right.
mobile enough. Um, and I'm happy to say like so my name in the game is Ichiban Tryhard, right?
Okay.
And it's funny because the leader of my guild is the number one like top rank or whatever, and his wife was the second rank forever.
Hmm.
And I finally surpassed his wife, and it's just kind of funny. Like
That's
I,
a
I
home wrecker.
yeah, I know. I get some messages from him, and he's like, "Good job," and
Good job. She wasn't
and
pulling the family weight.
yeah, no, it was funny. And then he even took a week off, and he said, "Oh, sorry guys, we've been losing all these wars because I've been out in like PTO, and I'm just still chugging away, being a tryhard, moving up the ranks. My goal is
So was he
I'm
only play the game when he's at work or something, or what?
I don't know, but
That's weird. PTO.
I'm gonna surpass him one day,
Huh.
and then show him up, and then maybe I'll move on to the next guild. I don't know. So this is an open channel guild where you can join and leave whenever you want. Um, but it was cool because they started this guild, and they've been somewhat helpful, and like there was these packages that you can buy for you and your guild, and it's like
Mm.
$5, and if you buy $5 you'll get like 100 coins, and everybody else gets 25 in your guild, right? It's up to
Mm.
30 people in your guild. So last time his wife bought some coins, and I thanked him because I said, oh, thank you, I got some extra free coins to buy some heroes or
Why don't you
whatever.
give a shout out for your guild?
Well, yes,
Why don't you give a
that's
shout out with big thanks to your guild?
yeah, I will right now. So my Emperor and Puzzles guild is um oh, look at that. Okay, here we go. So it's Exalted War Constructs,
Hmm.
and I don't know if you can see this right now, but I'm number 2 because I try
Maybe
really
maybe
hard.
hold it closer or farther. It's
Can you see it? Can you see it?
okay. Wait. Hold it
Um,
still or wait. There it is. Yep. Just keep it there. This is like yoga. I could see it. Ichiban try hard number two.
go.
Winning.
Dude, all they do is they're so happy, and I've just been try harding. And the funny thing is, like they probably think I'm like an 18-year-old kid somewhere. Um, and here's my thing is what makes me happy about this game is like I try to be as I'm trying to get as far as I can free to play,
Mm-hmm.
and you can do it. It just takes a lot of effort, and I've been kind of doing it, so it's been kind of nice to
Well,
see
let's.
my progress.
Well, I mean, okay. Remember how last time we did the number plus equals two?
Yep,
What did you think about that?
I thought it was cool.
That's
So I think
easy, right?
it was pretty easy. So what we've gotten so far is you helped me create a variable,
Right.
and then how do you increment it by
Mm-hmm.
1, and then how do you increment it by 2, and then how do you output those increments?
That's right.
So what is the lesson today,
Well,
Overdon?
we're gonna connect it to a button.
We're going to connect to a button. So there's going to be a UI.
Why not? We're in JavaScript
Why
land. You
why
can.
not, why not?
Why not, buddy? It's
Okay.
look at them.
So I'm in scripts.js now.
Yeah, and what we're going to do is let's make a new script. Do you
New
see my
script.
mouse here? Do you see how it's hovering over this plus button?
Um
It looks like it's files. It's like index script style. Index script style. It's in Replit.
Oh, so I don't see the right side of the screen. So I see
It's
result,
on the
and
left hand side of the screen.
okay, and then use style.css.
Yeah, so look above that. You see
Yep.
index HTML, and then a plus with a little
Yep.
paper.
I see
We're
that.
gonna do that. Okay, so why don't we call this like uh why don't we
So
call this
create one.
yeah, we're gonna call this gold.js.
Okay, so I
Gold
hit
dot
plus and then gold.js.
is this gonna be cool or what?
That's gonna be.
Gold.js.
Oh, I like gold.
Golds. Okay. So the
So wait. Before we go into this,
yeah,
what is the button gonna do?
it's gonna give you more gold.
Well, I know I guess that one, but so you click the button and it
Uh-huh.
gives you more gold. Is
But
that how it works?
yeah, wouldn't that be great if we could just do that in real life?
Well,
Gold
it would
button.
be pretty sweet. It's kind of
My friend says me showing people how to make these kinds of things is unethical, and I disagree. Because
Wait, unethical of
she
what?
says it takes control of the people's limbic systems.
I don't
Like,
even
because
know
they
what
like
it means.
click the cookies.
Oh, okay.
They click and they want they want the golds. But I think it's okay. So we're gonna just say console.log
Okay.
dot. The gold module is loaded. Dot dot dot. Oh, and then also in the
Oh,
console,
wait, that doesn't make sense to me. Why is there three dots if
and there's going to be
it's going to be a function?
three hashtags. It's not. This isn't a console.log. This is saying the module is loaded. Do I want three or four? Let's do three.
So if I go to, okay, so that's not a command.
No,
You're saying
this is
this is
just
a
data for us. This is just data for us. That'll show up in
Oh, I see, I see, I see, I see, I see. Okay.
the
Now I see
debugger
what you're
mode.
saying. You're just a dot dot dot. The gold module is loaded. Okay.
Because that way we can see if we loaded our module correctly.
Okay, fine, fair enough. There's no semicolon.
I added a semicolon.
At the end.
I did, yeah. I put it here. It looks like a frowny.
I didn't
I'll
see it.
zoom in. I'll
Okay, now
zoom in.
now I see it. Now I see it. Now I see it. Now I see it. Okay.
Probably because of, you know.
Yep. I see it now.
Okay, now, okay, you got this done?
I do.
Okay, now if you run your code, you'll notice in your result, it does not say that. It says my game rocks number is 10. The number is not 11. It does
Wait,
not.
I gotta hit run and then hit
Look at,
console.
yeah, and you'll notice it does not say the gold module is loaded.
Correct. Because it's still running the other script. Or the
It
other.
is. It's running the other script and it's not running gold.
Okay.
And we need to get it to talk to gold. So let's go into index HTML. Okay. Looks like index to
Oh, I
HTML.
see. So the href should change to gold.js
The
instead of.
in the link that's
Oh,
our
wait,
style. That one's our buddy.
but
So,
but you see script src. So change that one.
script JS. No, that one's good. That one's good too.
It is. We want to keep script.js
Yeah,
because that's the one where we did last week.
that's right. We're gonna keep that one, but we're gonna
Okay.
change it. I'm gonna comment this. Let's do a comment up here. // Okay, we're gonna say move this stuff to the head. See that? So that's called a comment code in HTML5 or just HTML. Do you see that? That's different from the // That's different.
I'm finally. Oh, I see. You did exclamation dash dash
Isn't that weird?
between the body. I've never seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an HTML style comment. It works in XML for Android as well.
So it's exclamation dash dash, and that's like a comment. That's like the double backslash.
That's right. It's a
This
single line.
stuff
It's a
to
single
the
line
head, and
markup
then.
comment code.
And
Oh, my
this-
bunny just showed up. Hey, look at the
But why
screen.
is it a triple?
Look at the
Why
bunny
is it
show up.
Yeah. Why is it a triple dash to close?
Look at the bunny show up.
Isn't it usually symmetrical?
Triple dash to well, it is symmetrical because the open is the exclamation mark.
So so a dash.
Oh,
cancels
actually,
out the
isn't
exclamation.
it? No, actually, you don't need the. You need. It's only two. You're right.
You only okay,
You're
okay,
Right. You're right.
okay. Student, teach, master, maybe.
Yeah, that'll happen often. I'm always learning.
I'm always learning too. I'm always learning too.
But just make sure not to take our jams.
They take our names.
Okay, so now up, we're gonna
Indeed.
go // We're gonna do another comment up here, and then
Okay.
we're gonna say
Oh, wait, now you only got one dash. Oh, no, you did back to two. Okay, so two dash.
okay, and then we're gonna call this script defer area. This is gonna be for fun. You see that?
So you move down 8 and 9 after head. Oh no, before head.
Yeah.
Before the closing of head, you created another exclamation dash dash. And I'm trying to figure out what exactly you're doing here. Defer area dot dot dot.
Defer.
Okay, so
Do you want to know what that means?
it means to make it point to something else or to say you go here later.
Yeah, it's kind of like do this not exactly 100% on it, but I've been noticing that it's like it does it without causing like breaking errors in the HTML based on the order. So we're going
Okay.
to move this guy up here. I'm going to control X that, put it here. And instead of move the stuff to the head, it already is moved, so I'm going to delete that comment code. So now it looks like this, but I'm going to say script defer.
Mm, okay. So okay.
So it's
So
moved
right
out of
now,
the body. I don't really want that guy at the body.
yeah, I see that. So you cut out the body, the current body you cut out, and then you put that into the script defer.
Yeah. Let me run it. Let's see if it still works.
Wait, why did you
It
say
still works.
script defer script? Okay, so inside script defer area. Um, what about the move stuff? So you
I
deleted
deleted
the
that code
okay,
because
so
it's
you deleted
because I
that
did it. It
comment.
was almost like a to do.
Okay, so script src, but you put the defer src.
Isn't that weird? And then so it's going to defer it.
Okay, what does defer mean? Obviously, that's a function that's known
Let's just look
within.
it up. Let's just look it up on Google. What does
Okay,
defer in
so head, body,
HTML5 really
body.
mean? Then you'll notice I do this a lot. I look things up a lot.
Okay.
I like this W3 schools. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty cash. When present, it specifies that the script is executed. Oh, after the page is finished parsing. Yeah, that's kind of what I was. That's why I kind of thought it like does it after it does its stuff. Like it builds.
So it does this stuff, and then it does the next thing that you defer it to. Defer. Okay. That's weird. I misspelled defer to derfer,
It,
and it still showed purple, meaning it still recognized, I think,
what kind of
the
fur?
derfer,
D.
DER. I just deleted it, but it still kept it purple, meaning it understood, I guess.
Maybe that's something else. I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll
I don't
find
know.
out. But you'll notice that it says script defer script.js, right?
Okay.
Now, what I want to do is I want to go new line, and I'm going to say script defer src equals gold.js.
Right below that one?
I did above it. I usually like this one, the
Oh, I
script.js is
see.
like
So it's gonna start it right after this one ends. I get it. 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 I get it.
gold gets linked up first because gold is going to be kind of like a utility helper. Script is going to actually be the guy who
So the
does more stuff.
indentations, it seems like it automatically does for me. I'm just trying to. Okay, so
Inside,
script
are you inside
defer
head? If you're inside head, it does, yeah.
gold.js close and then script. Okay. It didn't. It didn't. So I gotta tab it.
You can do a bulk tab, so you can go like this, like, oops, deleted it.
Okay, I got it. So wait. Okay, so now I just want to understand this. So if I'm deferring gold and then I defer script, like how does it know which one it's deferring? Like why am I deferring both?
It's going to do it after this stuff is done, although there's really nothing in here.
Okay, so right now script has some stuff that makes, hey, here's your number, here's your number. Gold is just basically one output with a read. So I'm trying to understand.
Oh, actually, wait a minute. Let's read this. Let's read this. We didn't write ace. Oh no, we said it defer. So
Right.
if
But how do you defer
if
something to something that hasn't happened yet?
well, let's read what we did. Is async present? No. If async is not present, let's zoom in here, coach. Actually, let's just do this one. Okay. Defer. We're going to say if async is not present and defer is present, the script is executed when the page is finished parsing.
Okay.
So when the page is done, then
But wouldn't you want the first one to be script instead of gold?
because I want
Mm,
script to use gold stuff,
okay.
but I still think it would even work regardless.
Are the variables that we're creating under either accessible by both JSs?
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
Okay.
If they're in
Okay.
the right scope.
Okay.
Is that crazy or what?
Do you have to do like a global thing, or is it how do you make it so it's within the right scope, I guess?
It's your choice. You can use lets inside loops. You can write functions and make them local to the function.
But by default, is it universal? Like if I create a variable in script, is it accessible by gold? If I create it the way that you taught me.
I feel like we should be able to access this from gold. Do you want to check?
Yeah.
Let's run it to see if this gold
I kind of
module
want to
is
check that.
loaded. Can we check? Can we see if the gold module's loaded?
Yeah, so I have what you have now.
Do
So
you want
should
to
we
run
run
it?
that?
Yeah.
So we're gonna do run.
And what do you see?
I see my game rocks comes okay, so the gold module is loaded comes first.
Is
So
that on
that
your
makes
screen
sense.
too?
Yeah. So that makes sense to me.
Okay. Now, do you want to?
Because we're doing that as defer first, and then the second one comes in after, right? So gold will run first and then script will run next.
Okay.
Now if I swap the position of this and I don't swatch the position of the actual files on the left hand column, it should be the opposite. Is that correct?
So you're saying like if I
Switch
defer
them out.
script first, if I go like this, what's going to happen? Let's find
Yeah,
out.
yeah. It's exactly the opposite. So
And
okay,
then
that
the
makes sense.
gold
Yeah.
model is loaded at the bottom.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's
Okay.
there's still some order to it. Deferred,
Okay.
I feel like is better when you're talking about the buttons and stuff.
Okay.
So this is this. But are you ready to have mind blown? Let's try this.
Okay.
Gold.js
So should I move it back? Should I have defer gold first?
for sure. Yeah.
Okay. 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 So now I kind of get it. But how?
We're not
Okay.
done with our test though.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
We have more tests to do. So now we're going to say test to see if gold can find number without causing an error.
And we're in gold right now.
Because technically gold is loaded first, right?
Yeah.
But yet script is the one who owns number.
Yeah.
So if I say console.log, the value of number via access from gold.js is plus number, what's going to come out? Is it going to say like, is it going to say, I should zoom. That's the minimum zoom I should probably be at right
Yeah.
about.
Type it in there, and then I'll guess. So you're saying the value of number is
The value of the number via access from gold.js is,
console.log. The value of number via access from gold.js is. So here's my guess, and I'm going to tell you why, and then you tell me why I'm wrong or right. Because of the deferral, I'm thinking that this runs before script runs, meaning it should be 10 instead of the actual higher number because it hasn't run script yet. But that's my guess. Is it would be 10 still.
it's going to be 10.
Yeah, or no? Is it right? Is that right?
So, okay. So you're
hold on.
saying the number starts out as 10, so it's going to be 10. But
Right.
But how come it's not going to cause an error or something?
Wait, hold on. So it
So
did
you
cause.
don't so you don't think it's going to cause an error?
It
Oh,
did cause
you
an error.
ran
I just
it?
did it. I
You
just
ran
ran it. I just ran it.
Causes an error. Why?
Oh wait, no, I actually hit the.
It does
wrong thing.
cause an error.
Yeah, it does cause an error.
Why does it cause an
It
error?
says missing a closed parentheses. Okay, well let me close this. No.
That's the error you got. Close the parenthesis there.
Yeah, it says syntax missing closed parentheses after argument.
Let me see your.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me see
Should
yours.
look like this.
Show me yours. So console the value of blah blah is number and then semicolon.
Don't forget the plus, and then the close parentheses.
Oh, the plus. The plus.
The plus.
The fucking plus. Wait. Go back to it. So, wait, no, go back to. Let me see the code.
You
I don't
want
want to see
the result? You mean the result?
Yeah.
You want this
so,
error?
Oh,
That's
plus
the error you want.
Okay, so number not defined, right?
That's what you're getting now, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
why are we getting that error?
Because it hasn't assigned a number yet. So variable number is not assigned 10 until you actually run script, and because we've deferred it, it doesn't have a value, so it's empty set. Is that correct?
Number
So
has never
so
been declared in
has
gold.
never been declared. Yeah, it hasn't
Gold.
even been declared. Right. It hasn't been declared gold, and it's running first because it's deferred. I guess.
Gold runs
And
first because we said so.
right, meaning it has no value. There's an empty set. There's no variable.
Yeah, it's more like it's exactly. It's kind of
So
worse than null or empty. It's like
but if
error.
we switch it, so if we went back to index and switched it to defer script first, would that work then? Because then it should run
Yeah,
script first, meaning it should be 14, right?
yeah, and then that would work. But the thing is, how I think we should structure our stuff is make it so script is the guy that calls functions, and then we'll do the variables inside the gold. So gold related variables will go in gold.
Okay.
Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
So let's delete what's inside script.js, except for the my game rocks, and we're going to change that.
So we're changing everything but my game rocks.
And we're going to change that too.
We're deleting everything.
Yep.
I'm gonna delete everything. That's like all my progress.
Yeah, I know. People hate it when I do that to them,
I
but
know.
it's part
Okay,
of
all
it.
right,
It's
all right, all
you
right, fair
can't be
enough.
too attached to your code.
I'm kind of attached.
No,
That's okay.
it's just code. It's just letters and numbers and dots. Okay, so this one is we're going to say.
Wait. You deleted it all, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I just see right now you still have the first line.
But now we're going to
There-
say
Okay, so console.log.
script.js is loaded.
Console.log. And what is this? Okay. All right. Okay, so now.
And let's remove this console.log of the number thing. Get rid of that. So this is what your result should be like. The gold module is loaded, script.js is loaded.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
And then gold should now look like this. Gold module is loaded.
Got it.
Okay. Now we're going to get started. We're going to say underneath
Run.
here, we're going to say var gold equals 0.
I'm still waiting to catch up to you. So all right, so you hit on gold now. And
Are you having any errors?
there we go. Var. Okay, so it's you saying it's loaded. So I'm deleting the bottom part, the value via axis. Yeah. Okay. Var gold equals 0 semicolon. Okay, so I got that, and then I'm gonna hit run.
Yep. I mean, it should just say that the gold module is loaded, script.js is loaded.
Hold on, that's kind of weird. It is giving me like
Error?
Yeah.
What
Hold
error?
on. It says stopping. Please wait.
We might have to refresh the page.
Okay. Let me refresh. Okay. What the heck?
Sometimes that happens.
So console.
And you deleted everything from the gold and the script. All that's really there is the console.
Yeah, all script is console.log.
Okay. Sometimes you got to
and
close
then-
the browser page and then read it because it's doing it in live time.
So for some reason it's not going. Var gold equals 0. Yeah, that's weird.
And you semicolon out and all that stuff.
Yeah, I might have to reopen.
Reopen the browser on it. Yeah.
Yeah, is
Don't
there a
worry
way to
about it.
is there a way to save this, or is it
It auto
automatically
saves,
saved?
and then if
So I'm gonna
all
close
you did
things.
is delete stuff. So really,
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
just, maybe there's a couple of defers, and if worst case scenario, I could paste it in the chat.
Okay, fair enough. REPL.
Push comes to shove, I could just do this, right? I could just be like, say something. The gold
Yeah.
module is loaded, you
Okay.
know.
Okay. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Mm, it's loading. Damn you. Damn you.
It's still saying loading.
Yeah. It might be well, I'm using
Are you using Chrome or
I'm using Mozilla.
try Chrome?
Can you it says failed connect, we're trying. Can you hold on a second? I gotta go to the
Yeah,
bathroom.
yeah, sure. Okay, everybody. So, this is going to be kind of funny. So, I actually have been looking at one of my favorite games called Hexen, and there's there was something about it like when I was in like a long time ago, 90s, and you could be choosing like a cleric or a barbarian. So let's look up Hexen cleric image. Yeah, here we go. Okay, see that with the hands, right? So he's a cleric, and the thing I liked about that game is it was very well done. I think it was like ID Software or Raven. They made it so it was it's kind of one of those like Doom style games, but it almost had this portalish kind of Talos Principle style. Very interesting. Like you're walking around and you're pulling levers, and I love the first person like System Shock 2, System Shock, Portal, Portal 2, Portal Stories, Mel. You know, those things where I feel like I'm getting smarter by getting through it. It's not just all combat, right? Because you've done those where it's like there's things where it's checking to see if you can click the fastest or the eye hand coordination the fastest, but there's other games where it's like you need to actually think about it and strategize and pick a character that's in alignment with your playstyle, right? So anyway, this one's like an all-time favorite. Well, I had it on Steam, and I was just looking through the comments, and then there was this link on what was it, Fun PC? Is there, I found the Jacques Krieg. Gosh, it's chocolate hexen, chocolate hexen.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
So try Chrome because it's still like
I'd
let me
say
try refreshing.
Yeah, refresh. I'm gonna give the audience this link called Chocolate Doom.
Chocolate Doom.
Dude, this is crazy. So there's Doom, but then there's Chocolate Doom. And so let's say you need to own like the
All
actual
about owning.
commercial version of it. You gotta own it, but
You gotta own. You gotta own it.
gotta own
You
it.
gotta own
But the thing is
You
that
mean clean? Own it clean?
cleanup crew. But the thing is that this chocolate hexen like makes it so it works on a normal computer, and so I'm able to play it on like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing the original Hexen
Yep.
on this computer with this, and then sometimes I change it up and I use the mouse too. If you know, it's just like crazy, right? You just can have so much fun doing it, and then it's just a ton. It's just a ton of fun, and I really enjoy it. And it makes it so those old retro ones are so like compatible, very compatible with the newer computers. So I really thought it was great. And then I've only tried the Hexen ones so far, but the sound, I'm like, oh my god,
Oh man,
is what's happened.
I'm getting wrecked in fantasy. Okay, so I am logged in. Okay, so I got my two-step verification. I'm using Chrome now.
Okay.
Damn. Mm-hmm.
Chocolate Doom.
Chocolate Doom.
But it's just there's something
Oh
about
man.
these older games where they feel so real. Like you're fighting the monster and it feels like he's actually getting hit. As opposed to some of these newer games. Like I love Skyrim, right? But I don't feel like I'm actually hitting the enemy in Skyrim. It feels more like I'm slapping him kind of with a piece of wood.
Right.
Or even Fallout.
Okay, I got it. It
Okay.
works now. So Chrome is working. It's got the gold modules loaded and then script.js is loaded. So it does that in that order.
Great. So you have var gold equals 0.
Yeah, I do.
Now we're going to do a comment code. We're going to call this like global variable area. And then down here, we're going to say function area. So we're going to keep our code organized. And you're going to, people that are looking at this, you're probably going to be like, dude, that's nothing like how I do it. This guy sucks. What are you trying to say?
Get them haters.
Yeah, and that's fine because everybody
That's
has
what you want.
you want yeah, you want haters. What?
Global variable area.
But the thing is, it's more about you. How do you like to make your stuff? How do you not go crazy by finding your code? Things like that. So I don't know if anybody watching is a Game Maker Studio guy, but in Game Maker, I'm actually now in the script. I'm writing the directory structure of where the scripts are located. So it's like, where do I even have this? So
Makes
function
sense.
area. Let's just say
I'm in the function area.
function.
What do we want to do with this function?
Let's say add 1 gold. Add 1 gold. Have we done functions yet? We didn't do functions yet.
We have not.
This is a function.
There you go.
I mean,
that's okay. I can figure it out.
This is a function, and then
Function.
I mean,
add 1 gold.
And this is the first function that.
Yeah, and it'll probably be something like gold plus plus.
That's
right.
That's exactly
Damn,
what it is.
I'm good.
Learning.
Hey, I took the first lesson and put it into this one.
Console.log.
Console.log.
Your gold.
You're gonna do the plus plus within that, or are you gonna do the gold plus plus first? Oh, I see.
Your gold.
So you get console.log. Your gold is.
You have.
Okay.
Plus gold. Period.
Gold plus plus console.log. You have.
End of the add 1 gold function. I tend to like saying the end of the functions. You don't have to. I think it might help you from not throwing out your curled brace on accident.
Okay,
it's just another thing I do. You don't have to do it.
Okay, so you have close parentheses plus gold. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. And then end of
End of the add 1 gold function. Yep.
Okay.
All
right, I got it.
Easy.
So easy.
And we run our program. We shouldn't have any errors yet, right? So you can run it. That's a nice thing about JavaScript.
Well, there's nothing there because we haven't run the function. We've created the function, but we haven't done.
Function is improperly crafted, you could still get an error without calling it.
Oh, I see. So I see nothing yet, but it's because we haven't called it.
Right, but when you run it, you get no errors. All right, so it's clean.
Okay.
Clean up.
Clean. That's clean.
Okay, so it's the opposite of what you wanted a card house. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let's say, let's make some buttons. We're in the HTML now.
Okay, so now we're in index. Is that
Index
right?
HTML. Yeah, let's make some buttons.
Can't wait. So you click the button, and it's gonna add freaking gold. I
Is that
guarantee.
rad or what?
Oh my god,
Subs.
amazing! That's
Like,
amazing. I don't
imagine
think I've ever. So in all the programming I've done, I've never made buttons. So that's pretty cool.
everybody makes fun of buttons, and yet they're
Buttons.
in every good program has a button or two. What's
I
more
like
fun than a
buttons.
button? What's more fun than and like
Buttons.
the thing about buttons is that you can make an entire program. Remember we were kind of talking about this when we were watching Star Trek and stuff. I was
Sure.
saying you can make an entire program out of buttons,
Mm.
and there is literally no overhead.
There's no cost to
They're all
making buttons.
callbacks. Yeah, they're all just callbacks, and so you don't need to have them
What is,
make it.
what is that thing that's after the close parens? Like it looks like it's initial or is it what whatever.
Where are we?
It looks like an I. Like it says let's make some buttons. And
An
what's weird
exclamation
is
mark? Exclamation mark?
no, I got the
The
exclamation. It's
the
weird.
arrow?
Mine's not becoming gray. Mine's not graying out.
Did you do two hyphens?
No, I did two equal signs. Okay, there we go. Now I got it. Now
There
I
we
got it.
go.
Okay.
So button. Let's say on click equals open up a quote, add
So button's
one
a function
gold.
within HTML's context. It knows exactly what you want. It's going to create a button essentially. When you call button in HTML, it gives you a button that you can click. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, got it.
And then when you give it an on click, it should give it access to our on click.
Right, and we're just going to program and tie the button to add one gold. Right?
Yeah, and then
So
but wait, we should
on
make this button say so. This is called the inner HTML of the button. We're gonna say in here, we'll say earn one gold.
add one gold, and okay, all right, and then semicolon.
Where do you see the semicolon
Well, I'm adding it. No.
in the on click?
Oh, you closed the button. That's right. HTML, you have to open up thing and then close it. Okay.
Yeah, it's taggy.
I got you. It's semicolon. I was thinking something else.
This is why not everybody likes web. Not everybody likes this side of it.
But that's the best side of it. That's
It
where
really
you make
is.
them baller cash.
It really is. It's really the fun part. And so does yours look like this right now?
Yeah.
If you run it, no errors.
Yeah.
If you go to result, do you see earn one gold? Big, beautiful, juicy button there.
I do. I do. So I
Okay,
click the button, but it doesn't do anything.
but look in your console.
Oh, it's adding gold every time I click it.
You have 5 gold.
I got 10 gold now.
Oh, you got 10?
Yeah, I clicked it a ton of times. You know my APMs is really
Your
high.
APMs is better than mine,
It's
that's for sure.
super high.
Uber.
Okay,
Uber.
that's cool.
Uber APMs. So, and then you'll notice that your result might look different from mine. Every computer might be slightly different how their browser's set up, but if we're both on Chrome, it might look like this. Do you see that? It's kind of grayish with white, and
Yep.
it's just a basic button. But
No, it looks good.
but now, how do we know? Like, we don't want the customers to look in the console like for their gold, right?
Oh, I
So,
need a space between the number and the gold. Hold on. So I need to edit my thing. So it should be
oh,
a space between half. There we go.
yep.
So now I run, and then now I hit the button on result.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Now I got it fixed. Okay.
Okay, but this
I'm caught up.
the a customer or something does not want to have to go into like right click and say inspect console, and you'll notice it's everything that's in the console is still here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's hard to see, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you can
Mm-hmm.
expect element go into the console and see that. That's
Yep.
invariably what this is doing, but
Okay.
with less extra data. So we're going to add a span so this data is available to us. So let's just do that here. Let's do a hyphen. Let's say let's learn about a span. Span, we're going to give this an ID of player gold, player underscore gold. That's good. And it starts out with, we're going to put a question mark in there at first, just kind of like that. So when I run it, it's kind of there. Okay. Span player 1 gold. Yeah, we did a span instead of a div. So that's okay with being right there for right now. Because we're going to end up putting this in a table later anyway.
All right. Let's learn about span. Okay. And we're going to go span ID. ID equals player gold.
We should, you know what, let's change it to player gold label. Or player gold, player label gold. That way it's very clear that it's like it's not a variable, it's just a label. Does that kind of make sense? That's going to be for organizing it later.
I still don't know what span does, but I will learn this.
Does it show a question mark when you run it?
So player gold, and you say 1, and then you're gonna close.
I said question mark.
Question mark, and then close the span.
Yeah.
Got it.
So what is the name of your span ID? It's just so we're on the same page.
Player underscore gold, or no, label gold. Okay,
yeah,
let's
switch it. Let's switch it to that. That's what I was talking about. I should scroll down. Should look like that.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Let's go into the gold JS.
Okay.
Now, you'll notice here, dude, this is so cool. You're gonna love this. We're gonna do a comment code here. Next, connect the gold variable to the span so it updates the information.
And we're in Gold.js right now?
Yeah, I switched to Gold.js.
Okay. So you have block gold, and then you're going to do an... Okay. To the span so it updates the information. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we're going to say document dot get element by ID player underscore label underscore gold. I need to zoom out. Actually, no, I'll just do this. I need to zoom out one level anyway. Dot inner HTML equals gold. Dot. Let's just do toString just so you can. We're going to turn it into a string. Why not? This is kind of a longer one. I'm going to zoom in one more. Is that better to zoom in like that? Let's see. There we go.
Layer label gold dot inner HTML equals gold dot toString. Let me guess what the hell this does. I can't figure that out. Okay, so document dot get element by ID. Well, so player label gold again is under what, index?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to go back into index?
So it's a span. So span is, and I don't know what a span is, but we're creating a variable that's a span variable, whatever that is.
Tag.
And we're calling it player label gold. Okay. And then you're going to gold.js and you're saying get element by ID inner HTML, which that seems kind
But
of
I
foreign
told you
to
what
me.
inner HTML is.
What is that?
Inner HTML is what's in between these things. Do you see the tags? It's the inner HTML. So inner, it's what's in between. Earn one gold is inner HTML. This question mark is inner HTML. Because it's in between the tags open and close.
Okay,
That's weird, right?
it is.
Because it's saying make that inner HTML become what?
Well, to a string, meaning like print it or output it.
Well, make it become what to a string though?
Will make your gold number, right?
Yes, that's right. Okay,
Okay.
so that's something. So let's go back into the result and you run it. What do you see when you run it?
On what? On the on
Result
the
side.
on the result side, I see a button with a question mark.
Good, good. So what happens when you click it?
So if I click it and then I go to console, it says I have 1 gold.
But what if you click it and you stay in result?
Nothing. I must have an error here.
Okay, so you want to switch to your code mode? Let's here. This is the part of the show, everybody, where we zoom in on Henry's code.
Yeah, why don't
This
you
is the
zoom in?
interactive part. So now you switch and you say
How do I
share.
switch?
Is this cool or what? Do do
Okay.
do do do
Oh,
do
here
do
we go. Share screen. There we go. You got
do
me.
do. Yeah. Now you show me your code.
Okay, so this is my code. Do you want to see the index first?
Hold on, I like this. Let me see it. I'm looking at. I'm reading it. Gold document. Okay, index HTML. Let's see it.
Okay. So I have the span ID player label gold.
I think your tabs can be a little bit better too. Just see the it's a hierarchy. So
Yeah. So all of the closers should be maybe at the same hierarchy.
see your script defer area, line 9, go to line 9,
Yep.
tab,
Oh, I see.
okay.
So
Then line 16,
yep, and this should be
tab,
there.
and then make
Okay.
those guys the same indentation as that. Line 19 and 20.
Well, they're the same already.
No, they need to be in line with the button because they're within the hierarchy of the body.
Oh,
Now
I see.
now highlight 16 through 20
Okay.
and then hit tab once. Perfect. Good job.
Wait. Oh, I see.
Now
So
that's not
you're
going to affect your code though. So let's
right,
see.
right, right, right.
So player
But it
label.
makes it easy to read.
That's right. And then people tend to not indent their stuff, but then they have more errors. So I noticed that if you give people good habits, they tend to stick with it. So let's look
Okay.
inside gold, and also the span ID. Okay. Can I see? Go to console. Run it again, and then click on the console. Okay, console. Okay, good. Result. Click earn 1 gold. Okay, console. Get element by is not a function. Go into gold.
Yep.
Okay, so you have the ID in caps. It's title case for the ID.
So it shouldn't be?
A lowercase d.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, run again.
So it's okay. So it's the capitalization matters here. There we go.
You have 1 gold, but we'll click on the result.
Yeah.
It didn't do
Okay.
anything. Player label gold. Oh,
Yeah, I did it.
wait.
It did 1, 2, and 3, but like that's the same as before, right?
No, but it didn't. Wait. So how did you spell label? Is label
Uh
spelled
oh
Lebel or is it Leble? How do I spell label? Maybe I spelled it wrong.
no, it's Libel. I thought you were trying to clown me, but I think I'm right.
Who's right?
I think I'm right. I think label is Label.
Okay, so then how did you spell it
Wait,
in index HTML?
I spelled it as Label. Wait, no, I think you might be right. I think label
Is it
is
Lebele?
I think it's.
Lable?
I,
That's
oh, it's no.
Lable.
It is Label.
Okay, because it's at Office Max or whatever. Okay, so you have
Office
your, you get
Max.
your, you get your, there you
Staples.
go. But wait, how come you're getting an error? Span ID equals player label gold. Go to the console. Go to the
Yeah.
console.
Go to. You mean index? Oh,
No,
console.
no, yeah.
Console. Yeah, yeah. I'm not getting an error anymore. It's just not giving me anything other than what we
Minus.
were
That's a
looking for.
minus. That's not equals.
Which one? Oh, I see. This. That's
Okay.
what it is.
Yeah, we want the assignment operator. Go to result.
Oh, I see. So, okay, hold on. So now if I do this, wait, it's the same thing. Oh, but this updates. This updates. The result updates. So it's in real time, I guess, as I
That's
click
right.
it. I
Is
see.
that cool or what?
Ah, okay. So if you were gonna program like a website that had a cart, that's
Yeah.
what you'd want.
Yeah.
Mm, okay,
Okay. That's
makes
cool.
sense. That makes sense.
That's cool. So let's switch back to Henry mode.
Okay,
Is that
so
fun? Is that fun going into debug mode like that?
that's kind of fun.
I think
So
that's
now
cool.
now I exit out. Now I stop sharing screen.
Yeah,
Turn.
because then you switch back to your head.
Do I do?
You're
How
good.
do
You did it. You already did it.
I already did it.
Yeah. This looks fine.
Awesome.
I think I need to move this here, move this here. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
well, because I made your screen really big because I needed to read it. I get it.
Okay.
Okay, cool. See that? That's your first debugging mode thing.
Okay.
So everybody
Like it.
say, great job. Great job. Okay,
Like
okay.
it. I like
But
it.
don't you notice there's a problem though, right?
What?
Refresh the page and then look in the result. Or not refresh, but I mean click the play button and look at the result.
Okay, so I hit refresh. Now it's loading. Hold on.
Oh God, I hope I didn't botch it. I meant to say push the play button. That was my mistake.
No, it says it's loading. Give it a second. REPL.
You might have to. So you refreshed and then hit play, or you
I hit the refresh button and now it's like in permanent like loading. Should I
like
just close and
close
then
and
reopen?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
Sorry about that. My
That's
bads.
okay. That's okay. Okay, so REPL. Oops. There we go. World's leading code. Do you think REPL's bigger than Codecademy now?
Well, REPL doesn't offer, and I think it's a different type of business model because REPL doesn't like teach you how
Okay,
to
so
code.
I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. So what do I do?
You just hit play.
So I hit play and then go to what?
Now in the result, what do you see?
I see earn one gold button and then a question mark.
Okay,
I s
don't you feel like it would be better if it said earn one gold, like, and then zero?
Why? You mean what you're currently gold at?
Yeah,
Or
like that would be better, right?
well, I think yeah. I mean, I think it would be better if you had a button that says your current gold and then that updated as you hit
Or you mean
earn
a
one
span
gold.
that said that?
No, like let's say you had a like oh well, maybe it's not even a button. Maybe you just had a button that said your current gold, and
Okay,
then every time you hit earn one gold, you earn one
well let's do
on
that.
the result. Okay,
Let's
all
do
right.
that. Let's change.
Okay.
So on the span, above the span, let's add a P here. Or let's
Wait,
add
and
an
this is
it.
under gold?
This is
No,
this
this
is
is under. Okay, got it. This is under span.
it's under index HTML here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're just gonna add a H1.
Okay, wait. I still don't understand what span is. So I've done the button. I get that. I don't get what span is doing here. So I
Well, what is
get
a
that you click the
span?
button.
Go ahead.
I get that there's a button. So what does span do in the index? Like visually in result, what does span do? Like it's adding the question mark. I see that. I see it as the question mark. But like what else is it doing? Like what is span doing here other than nothing? Oh, I see. So I guess the only thing it does is it updates in real time in terms of the value of your gold. Like that's the only difference between not having span versus having span.
Well, what is a span
Well,
not
that's what I mean. I
encoded?
don't know.
Well, a
Well, I
span
don't.
means from here to here. The lifespan.
So it's a time element function. It's
Or it
it's
could be
saying
distance. It's like
okay,
span has to do with the number line.
okay. So if I were to click it, why does it only show me the most recent level of gold I have? If it's a span, like what? Why is it only showing me the current level of gold if it's a span of gold? Like why isn't it showing me the time value of the gold that I have?
Well, because it
Like
does. Because span doesn't have to deal with your gold. Span has to deal with how HTML handles information that's marked up on the screen. So watch this. Are you ready for something new?
okay, but is there another function that would show? So is span the only way to show my current gold level in the results side?
No, you could use a div.
What the heck? What's the div?
A div means a division. You're
Well,
dividing the system up into smaller parts and then making it accessible. Or you can have a button. Or,
okay,
or
wait,
there's tons of
wait.
ways.
Wait, now I'm thinking of this. Okay, so how do you just output something in HTML then? Like, if I just want to output, let's say I just want to say this is my gold output. Like, how do you pull that number with like? I'm assuming it's not span. I'm assuming it's just something like almost as easy as console dot whatever, and my gold, right? Like,
Anything that has an ID that allows for text to be changed can be modified in the document object model system.
so do I have to use span if I'm using something visually that's going to change on my same interface?
No, you just need anything that has an ID that allows for text to be appearing.
Okay,
But there is
so
something that's nice about span.
okay, what is that?
I can say here, you have, and then on the out space, and then on the outside, I could say space gold. And then I run it. You have question mark gold. So good. Look at that gold. Do you see that? And that's all.
I'm
That was
waiting.
very
I'm waiting.
fast. Oh, it took. It's still loading.
It's you're typing it now. So it's H1.
Right.
You have, and then you said gold dot.
You have gold.
Oh, I see. I see.
Is
I
that
see.
cool or what?
Okay.
Do you see it changing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now this H1 is really big. It's kind of grotesque, so we can shrink it. But do you see how the span, it makes it all in one line? It looks like a sentence.
Yep.
That's cool, right?
So is most coding this integrated in between the Java and the HTML? Because I remember I used to do them separately, like 100% separately. It
For
was like
what?
HTML was more like web page. It was literally like this is what I want you to spit out, and it wasn't integrated with buttons or
You mean
uh,
Java, normal Java that you did in college?
yeah,
Because
I
weren't
would say
you were doing Java, not JavaScript. We're going to do Java
yeah,
too. Don't worry. We're going to double
yeah.
back into all this.
So this is JavaScript.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
This is JavaScript because JavaScript is, I feel like, it's
Well, JavaScript
overpowered.
it was
It's
was
OP.
designed with HTML in mind. It was a web based programming language, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see.
And it's OP. And why do I say it's OP?
Pretty
Because,
OP.
dude, like, I'm using JavaScript as my map editor to generate Game Maker Studio scripts. And I'm doing it like, it's like so fast. It's just,
Mm.
it's crazy fast for making stuff appear. Where did my friend go? Hello.
Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
I was like, where did my friend go?
Yeah, okay, I got it. But
Okay.
it's OP. I
It's
like it.
dude, it's so powerful, and
It's
and
like
it ties into what you've done in Java
yeah.
because there's semicolons and
Yeah.
And also, if you learn HTML, it'll help you with your XML if you ever get into Android or XML stuff.
Okay. So right now I'm sort of caught up, but then I'm at the H. I haven't input H1 you have yet.
Let's make it H3.
Okay. So what is that?
H3 means heading level 3. It's a smaller heading. That's better.
Oh, that's right. It's like the size of your font or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Okay. Something as simple as that. Okay, got it. So H1 was the largest.
H1's big boy, yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna use that the same level or before span? The same level of span.
I mean, you could do it inside this, oh, H3 should now be,
Is that gonna be standard? Because if it is, then you want to put it out in the root, or like how
the
far are you typing?
indentation
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
I mean, honestly, I feel like it would look cool like this. So it looks like a sentence.
Yeah.
And then like that.
Okay.
I think that's
All right.
very clear. Can you see that?
Yeah.
H3. I feel like that's very clear. And then, oh, that when I zoom out, it's better. You have gold.
Blah blah blah. Gold, and then
It's like a
period.
sentence. It becomes like a some people like to say the term Mad Lib of code in the
Got
sense
it.
that it's filling out your Mad Lib.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Does it do that when you click?
Yeah.
You have 5 gold like that. But we still have something I want to fix. And it says you have question mark gold. Oh, I should have done a space after the gold before. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go. That looks better with the space.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. So now we want it to show how much gold you have when you load the page.
All right.
So I'm going to give you a clue. We're going to write a function in Gold.js. So we're inside Gold.js now.
Okay.
And we're going to write a function called function update spans. And we're just going to write this function now. End of update spans. Oops. And above it, I'm going to say what this is going to do. This function will update gold related spans to show their current values.
Update spans. Okay.
That's what this function is going to do.
Okay. All right.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put some code in here. What code should I put in here? If I want to update, for example, the gold span to say how much gold it has, what should I write?
Oh, you mean the current gold level?
Without changing it.
Well, it should basically be the same as add one gold except the gold plus plus. I mean, it should be just you have plus gold.
So let's do it. We're going to say document
Okay.
dot what?
Document dot
Get.
what do you mean?
'Cause
There's
we
a
need-
there's a get gold.
No, we need to get the element by ID of the label. We'll
So
just
player label gold.
right. So get element by ID. Open up the parentheses, and we're going to say player label gold. Got that?
Yeah, I've never used the document function before. What? So document is like.
The
Oh, I
HTML
see. I
document.
guess I see. Document.element ID is where we use the other. Okay.
Uh-huh. Okay, what's next? Do you have you got this so far? Dot inner.
Okay. So get element by ID, and then player label gold. Okay.
Dot inner HTML
Yep.
equals.
Well, it should be gold dot to string
Okay,
because it's the same because it's not being added.
that's good.
Gold dot to string. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Now here's my challenge for you. I feel like this is good. Who should call this script? From what script should this script be called and where?
Wait, so what is the intention of this function is to update gold related spans to show their current values. How are we not already doing that, I guess?
Because it starts with a question mark, but you are at this moment you have 0
Oh,
gold.
I see. So it should show 0 instead of like question mark.
That's right.
It should say
Is this fun? Are you
okay,
enjoying this or what?
okay. So
This is
so
fun.
okay, so docker so wait, how is okay. Okay, I see. So what we want to do then with this function is we want to go back to index
Good. Which
and
index? Which index? HTML or wait, should we go to index to do this?
well we want to use this function. We've created a function that's not going to run unless we run it.
Right.
And the function name is update spans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so how did we do the last one? Let me see. Hold on. So
Well, that's when we
scripts
did a
was
button, though. We don't want to put it in a button. This shouldn't be done in a
oh,
button.
I see. So you want to show this in the console. Or is this no, it's you want this in the result, right?
This does affect the result, but it does not be called. It's not called.
It's not a button.
It's not a button. So who should call it?
Oh, I see. So script would call it.
That's great. Good. 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 Good.
So
Good.
script would call the actual function.
That's right. And then the name of the script that does this kind of work is called init.
It's called init.
That's right. We make a generally this is called a convention. Generally, scripts or functions that initialize a system are called init. So we're going to say function init. And this guy will call that one from gold. Update spans. This will be update your spans. Right? Okay, end of the init function. And then at the bottom, we're going to go here, initialize program. Ooh, we should say that here. That'd be so rad. Console.log /n initializing program. Dude. And then at the bottom, we're going to say init.
Okay.
Yeah. You have 0 gold. Yeah.
What's the \n do?
Remember it gives us a new line.
Oh, right. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. I get it.
I should have done 3. I should have done 3 things to make it consistent, but that's just whatever. Actually.
Okay, so now I hit run. It still says question mark gold.
Really? Did you call in it at the bottom?
I think I did. At the bottom of style? No, script. Yeah, function in it. Wait. Did I call it meaning I use it?
Yeah.
Rather,
This would be our function call area.
Oh, I didn't initialize it. You're right. Yep. Init. There we go. Wait, hold on. It still shows a question mark.
You want to show me your code?
Yeah, give me a second. Hold on. Function init is console initially blah blah blah. So that runs, and then update spans. Let me make sure update spans, and it's case sensitive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have update spans, which runs get element by ID player label gold dot inner HTML equals gold dot toString. Okay. Okay, so it's basically the same as add 1 gold, except it doesn't have gold plus plus. That makes sense. Update spans.
Did you do a lowercase d?
I did.
Want to show me your code?
No, I didn't. No, you're right. I didn't do lowercase d. Damn
Okay.
it. Damn. It still shows question mark though. No, yeah, it still shows question mark. Hold on.
The HTML is all caps. You said equals, not a hyphen.
Well, the funny thing is, like, why wouldn't it show question
copy-pasted
mark? Why wouldn't it show question mark if index is showing question mark? Like, the question mark gold is actually created by index HTML.
Actually,
right?
if you look at my screen, it is a question mark at first, and then it switches quickly to a 0.
You mean like immediate, like right after?
Yeah, if you look closely, it actually does.
Yeah, let me see it.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
I only see 0.
Yeah, because of the frame rate, But if someone plays this back on HD mode, they might be able to catch that.
Okay, let me look like 5 more seconds here. Yeah. Why it might not show it? So it should show you have 0 gold.
Absolutely.
It should show 0 and then switch immediately.
It should show question mark and then switch immediately.
So normally span. Okay, got it. Okay, so get element by ID player label gold inner HTML. Oh, I misspelled that. There we go. And that's what beer does.
There we go.
Got it. I got it. Yeah. Now it works.
Okay. And now
yep, it shows you got 0 gold, and then every time you click, it updates. So it starts at 0 instead of a question mark.
What do you think?
Makes a lot of sense because question mark makes no sense.
This is your first game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you believe it?
It's just about earning gold. So basically, I can Chinese gold farm this.
you could give yourself dailies.
I can give my dailies.
You give yourself dailies.
Yeah. So you know what I want next? You know what I want next? I want a button that says minus gold. And
you want to do that?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Do you want to?
So yeah. So okay, wait, hold on. Let me think.
Should that be in gold?
So all it should do is there should be let's just guess. So there should be a new in the index there should be new on click called -1 gold, right? So I'm gonna create a new button that's -1 gold, and all that's in there is basically gold minus.
Do you want to make what do you want to do? You want to make the button first or the function first?
Yeah, okay, so let's make the button first. So I'm going to put the button right below the current button, right? Oh, okay. Actually, no. I'm going to put it below where it says you have whatever gold.
Okay.
Right? So I'm going to put it right below the close of the body. So I'm going to go button on click equals -1 gold.
I'm with you.
Okay, and then close parentheses and say, and I'm just going to say that the text will say -1 gold, and then close button. Right?
Got it. I'm with you.
So if I run that, I see a button. It doesn't do anything. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Good.
So hold on, let me think. So we want something that says, so you had, okay, so now I just want it to change -1 if I click that button. So that button is now there. I just need that button to call a function.
That's right.
Let me think. So -1 gold. So add 1 gold. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So where did I do this? So
Well, what script would make the most sense to do this work in?
well, I need to create a new function, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we go to gold.js.
Right. Good.
And then we create a new function called, let's do function -1 gold.
-1 gold.
And then gold minus minus, and then semicolon.
Okay.
Okay. And then I don't want to make a new const.log because I want it to use the same one. Like I want it to update the same number. Like if I click the minus, I just want that number to change, right?
We don't need
So
to
I
do any
just
console.logs. And
right. So it's just gold -1. Okay. So now I have the function ready to -1 gold. Now I just need the text to update in the event I hit that button.
do you have a function that does that?
Yeah. So
What's that function
hold
called?
on. Well, that function is called, what is it? Get element by ID? No, it's
You just made it. You just made it like 10 minutes ago. You wrote it
wait,
yourself.
you mean -1 gold?
No,
So
not that one. But before that.
you mean get element by ID?
That one's get element by ID is made by the JavaScript and HTML people.
Okay.
That
So
was a built-in one. You
right.
wrote a function though that updates it.
Well, I wrote the function within gold, right? It's gold minus minus.
What function did you write earlier tonight that will update gold related spans to show their current values?
Oh, the update spans one.
Do you think that would be appropriate to call here?
Wait, hold on. But document dot. Yes, okay. Because all it does is it calls its current value.
Okay, so let's do it. Want me to do it with you?
Okay, wait, hold on. But I need to figure out where I put it. So
underneath the minus minus.
Oh, okay. I would just call the update spans there.
Sure,
I see. Okay. So I would just say update spans semicolon.
Well, it's a function, so you got to do open and close parentheses.
Yeah. I got that. Oh, there we go. It works.
It's so fast, right?
Yeah,
that way you don't have to write this big document get element by ID thing.
Okay. Right, because function update spans is literally just to update what the current value is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that rad?
Mm-hmm.
What else do you want to do?
Let's see. What else do I want to do?
Do you want to draw a little gold? Want me to show you how to draw a little gold?
Sure. Show me how to draw. Wait, but this is like ASCII or is this actual art?
You can do. I can show you Pixel, and then you can draw a gold for homework.
Okay, let's do a pixel one. Let's do an ASCII one.
You want to do an ASCII?
Yeah.
What would be a dollar sign?
No. Well, yeah, it'd be dollar signs, but it'd be in the shape of gold. So it'd be like a hex. No, not a hexagon. It wouldn't be a rectangle, but it'd be 4 sides, right? So it would
with
have
a dollar sign inside.
Exactly.
Okay, and then you want this to show up in the thing, in the console, or?
Yeah. Let's instead of saying gold, let's actually show the visual of gold.
You have to. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, let's see. Well,
So
that's easy.
instead
We
of-
could do that right here. We could
Yeah.
we could do this instead of saying gold. We could say
Oh, that's right. You just changed what the console log says. Yeah. No. That's too easy. That's literally just changing the text.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah. Right. I mean, that's basically changing the add 1 gold function,
Maybe there's a gold.
the console log, but all you're doing is changing the console log what it says essentially, right? Yeah,
Is
yeah,
there
yeah.
an amount? I'm gonna look up, see, like, what is it? Gold
No,
ASCII.
there's got to be a more interesting way to do this. Well, I mean, how would you use gold? So you'd buy stuff with gold, right? So assuming that you try to I mean, so there should be an error check to go negative, right? Most games aren't going to let you go negative gold, but I see
Oh, it
that
looks like I'm
this.
gonna get malware from this site.
Mhm. So if you get negative gold, it should say game over, right? It should say
Game
you
over.
get wrecked.
Okay, you want to do that? So it says game
Okay.
over.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it should be an if. It should be an. So there should be an if function, right? Saying if gold less than or equal, well, less than 0.
Right.
Just basically console log, game over, right?
Okay, we could do that in update spans.
Update. Yeah, right. So right below the gold string, say if gold
Oh
less
yeah, we could say if gold is greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0, update spans, else do something else.
Oh, right.
If
Wait, but that's within what update
I'm
stands, or is
inside
that
minus
within?
one,
Oh, right, in -1. Yeah,
but I mean you
exactly.
could do
Because
it
you could
easy.
only go no, but you could only go negative if you minus, right?
You're right.
Because you start at 0, so that makes sense. So gold minus, and then say
Gold
if gold greater than 0,
greater than or equal to,
greater than equal to
because can't you?
0.
You're allowed to have 0, right?
Right. Greater than equal to 0,
Update spans.
then spans, update spans,
Else
and then else
we could do.
else
We could copy
and else
this.
console gold, you're game over, right?
No, we could just
So
do it here. We could just say equals
so
game over.
else it's console.gold though, right?
Oh right, it's gonna. This is gonna change it all to say you have game over.
Well, okay, hold on.
We should probably say. We should
So
say. Okay, I got you. I'm
okay,
with you. This should still
so
say here, update spans, but then
okay, okay,
console.log.
yeah.
Game over.
Okay, so the game over is not doing it for me. So hold on, let me think. So if
But
gold else equals console.log game over. That's what it should say. Oh, but it's not saying it to the element ID, I guess, right? So wait, hold on. You have 0 gold.
and I can also still play.
Oh, it
Escapade.
does. It says it under console. It doesn't say it under result though.
Huh. So do you want
Do you
to?
get that too?
Yeah. So what do you think? Maybe we should make it so there, like this whole
So
thing.
so how do you make it say? So the index got to make it say it, right? Because the index is the only thing that updates. So the index says, well, no, the index calls gold that actually says you have blank gold.
What if we had
Uh,
another H3 that says like, um, okay, so we're got another H3. We're gonna say span, oops, span, click to earn gold. ID equals status, like status label.
-1 gold. It says gold -1 if gold update spans. Oh, I see. No, I could just update the update spans, right? Oh no, it won't. It would
I
just
want
say.
another span.
I'm just thinking, if get element by ID by its spans.
You have 1 gold. Click to earn gold, and then I'm gonna go here. Instead of update spans, it's gonna say, oops. I'm gonna change this one to say, what should this be? What was this called?
I still don't get why this is okay.
Status
Yeah.
label. equals game over. Run. Click to earn gold. Game over. Does that kind of make sense? And then we can make it so you're locked and you can't play anymore.
Okay.
Can you see this here where it says that?
Yeah.
Click to earn gold.
Yeah.
Game over.
I see. Yeah, you got it. You got it done.
But then you can
Okay.
still play this one. We got to make it so you can't click this one. So, want to show me your code? And I can help you with your code.
Yeah.
That'd be more fun because like
Okay. Let me
let's switch to fun mode.
Okay. So do you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is not working. So you see that it's gold minus minus. If gold is greater than or equal to 1, update spans.
That should be tabbed in. Update span should be tabbed in because that's within your if. Good.
Yep. And then else console game over. But that's not going anywhere.
That's boring. So
Well,
do you want another span?
yeah. Well, yeah. But what? Oh, I see. I see. I'm calling console because it's showing in console, but it's not showing in result because it's only calling console. I get it. So this else is working. It's just not doing the right thing for me from a from a um from a visual perspective from the website because of the index. Okay. So what do I need to do to else, I guess, to make that change? The thing that currently shows you have 0 gold is the console.log. Well, maybe it's not the console log. Maybe it's let me see. There's something that says you have 0 gold.
That's the span does that job.
Oh, I see. So spans is doing that. Wait. Span ID equals player label gold. I see. Yeah, you're right. So it's span that's saying how much gold you have.
Mm-hmm.
So span is the one that needs to be amended if you go equal or less than 0, or I mean less than 0. So should we edit gold then and say can we show the current value or
Why don't you try it? And then you can see what's going down because I think it'll help you.
okay.
It'll help you understand spans more if you just
Yeah.
try it. So just
Okay,
try it,
so
and I'll help you through it.
okay, so ID span ID equals player label gold. And then I forget, what is player label gold again? Player label gold
Technically,
is
all it is that number in between gold and have. Amount of water.
Okay. Okay, and that's all player label gold is.
It shows that number.
I see. So I instead of showing that number, I just want to show game over.
Okay, that's fine. Then you would do that in Gold.js
Okay.
because you already know how to access that.
Right. So I want to do update spans.
Update spans does a very specific task. You need the
Well,
document.
yeah, you're right.
You
You're
need the
right.
document. Good. Take a stab at it. I'm gonna get some more water. Okay, one second.
Okay.
And keep talking as you're thinking through it.
Okay. So spans. You have block gold. So it should be ID. Shouldn't it be ID equals. Can this work? Damn. else.
Okay, so where you at?
Well, I was trying to make ID just equal game over, but that doesn't go anywhere either. Because ID is a variable of span, or it's a type span, right? So this is a variable of type span. And I'm assuming it's not working because ID can't be anything other than a number. Is that right? I mean, can a span only be a digit, or can it be can
A
it be
span
an
could be
array?
anything you want. Could be any text you want.
Okay. So why can't I make okay, tell me this. So in under gold I said if gold is equal to less than 0 or greater than less than 0, update span. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But else ID equals game over. So why can't I make ID equals something?
What's ID mean to you?
ID to me is it is a variable type of span that would output. So as you mentioned to me, it's basically the zero number. It's between half and gold. It's whatever is in between the two, and that's what it spits out.
Well, that's close. So ID is a property of that span which can be referenced. It's a pointer. So it has
So
an.
ID is a part of span,
That's right. ID is part of span. And what is the ID of span? That specific span.
is a number.
Yeah, under the hood it is, but for the level we're at, it's something else. So what is that span's ID? We used the assignment operator to give it an ID. What is that guy's ID?
You mean the ID currently is the player label gold?
That's right. That's who you want to reference, and you reference that by saying document.getElement by ID, because ID is just a property.
Okay.
So your game over side, your equal sign is good. So you need to change the left hand side. So you need to say document.
Yeah. Document dot ID. No
Quote,
dot.
get. There it is. Do you see it? You can hit the down arrow. Down arrow. Press
Element by ID.
sick, right? Open up your parentheses.
Okay.
Open up your quote. Now, what's his name? What's that ID's? What's the ID of the one you're looking for?
The ID of the one I'm looking for is player label gold.
There you go. There you go, and that's fine. Go ahead and run it. Oh, it says it's red. Why? Oh, dot inner HTML equals. So you need the dot inner HTML. Dot. Okay, go ahead and run that.
Oh, I see.
You have game over gold, but that's a good start, right? Because
Yeah.
and also that's good to illustrate that how spans
So
work.
it's still printing this. It's still printing this.
That side. So maybe
Right.
we didn't structure it well, or
I see what you're saying though. Okay, so get element by ID, the inner HTML. Okay.
so you want it to be all in one sentence. So do you want it to say it like all like you have? Because then we got to retool the HTML, but that's fine. We can do that. Do you want to do that
I just wanted to say game over.
instead of and then without needing an extra span?
Without you have and without
Okay, let's do
gold.
that. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm shrinking you. You can switch back to Henry face mode.
Okay.
Okay, and now we're gonna get started. Let's do this. Okay, now let's change our span. We're gonna change the span, delete the you have, and delete the gold. And we're just gonna keep the question mark.
Okay.
So you should just have a 0 now when you run it.
Yep. It's a 0.
And then when you delete it, it should say game over, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Game error period. Yep.
Now let's go into this gold.js. And what we're going to do is we're going to say in the update spans, right? We're going to say you have plus.
Well, you have to do console like that. You have to do console log. You have.
Actually, let's do this here. Let's say let output equal you have plus gold plus gold here. And we're going to delete this and we're going to say output. Do you see that? That's slightly different.
Okay, so what does let do?
A let is it's still a type of variable, but it's not quite as expansive as scope as a var. So it's blocked to that scope it's at.
Okay.
You have 0 gold. 1. Did I run it right? Earn 1 gold. Oh, because I'm using earn 1 gold. Got it. This should actually make add 1 gold called update spans as well. So add 1 gold should call update spans.
Okay,
There we go. That's good.
So right at the end, have it call update spans.
Of add 1 gold. And then we could get rid of the console.log because that's...
Oh, I see. I got it. But it doesn't give me that you have black gold.
Did you do the update spans thing that I did?
I did.
Really? And you said output?
It gives me the numbers, but then as soon as I hit negatives, it's game over. So it's correct, other than the fact it doesn't say you have blank gold.
But wait, but let me see your update spans though. Like, is your update spans look like mine with a let in the output?
Yeah.
And you say output here?
Oh, wait, what? Where was that? That was, oh, you did a document that equals output?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. No, I didn't do that. So you need to do another function after the let output. That is document dot get element by
This is
ID.
inside update spans.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got that. And then player get element by ID lowercase player label gold and then dot inner HTML equals output colon. Okay. Still not doing it for me.
What's weird for me is it sounds like you added this again. I think you probably have 2 copies of this. Can I see your code?
Oh, I do.
Oh, okay.
So the update span should only have one of the get element ID. I still have the original one. That is the
Should
get.
only look like this.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. So it should be -1 gold right after. I see. Okay. So let me just delete this. So before the inner HTML was equal to gold.toString, but now it equals the output, which is you have gold. Okay. I think I understand what you're saying. Oh no, it's still not doing it. Damn it. Okay, I'm gonna share my thing.
Yeah, that's good. That's what I'm here for.
Okay.
Because you said Pally. I think you're thinking of playing a Pally. You want Swift Justice back?
I love Pallies.
Update
Updates.
Fix line 24, please.
Get element by document. Oh, right here.
Underscore.
Player label gold.
Okay, go ahead and run it. Capital B and buy. Capital B and buy.
Oh, I see. Well, why doesn't it catch that? Why does it purple it if it doesn't catch that? It doesn't make sense to me. There it is. Okay, yeah. There it is. Yay, it works now.
You feeling pretty good?
I'm annoyed that the purple shows up even though it doesn't call or doesn't recognize it. I think that's the only thing that really annoys me. Is
Oh.
if it goes purple, I would feel like it should recognize it somehow. Otherwise, it should give you some sort of marker. But other than that, I get it. Yep.
That might be a Replit thing. I don't think VS Code does that.
Oh,
So
you mean
you can install
yeah.
Visual Studio Code if you want.
There we go.
It's
Game
free.
over.
Want me to show you Visual Studio Code?
So what is the point of console when you're doing JavaScript? Like not really anything, huh?
Well, you can show debug messages like
Right, but nobody sees that. That's a back end sort of result, right?
right.
I see. Okay. So, but it might be good for decoding, right?
Oh,
So
for sure, yeah.
I see. Okay, because the visual might not give you the full picture, but console might. Okay, I get it. I get it.
And you don't want to create a new span every time you need to debug something.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's cool. I got buttons.
You did it.
I did it.
I think that's a good. I think that's a good one for today. What do you think?
I think it was fantastic. Thank you.
Do you want to make me something for next week, and then I can look at it?
What should I make you for next week?
Maybe something like try and do something else, like maybe instead of a gold, health or something, or you have gold. You could have hit points. We can make a basic Baba game, you know. I do that all the time where someone will have a pally. Why don't you make a pally? How many pallies do I have? Paladins.
So you have certain number of paladins, and when you're out of paladins, you're dead.
Or the more paladins you have, the more cost it is for upkeep or something. Or you could just have fun with it. You know, whatever you want to do. We could just get some paladins in here.
Okay, we can get some paladins.
Just so you're feeling comfortable about making variables and changing them.
Yeah.
And then we'll incorporate tables. But show me that you get
the thing I still don't. The thing I still don't get is the document function.
And that's why I want you to practice making spans and the buttons.
And then I really don't get the dot inner HTML. What does that?
Right.
The document dot get element by ID inner HTML thing still kind of throws me off a bit.
It's kind of a long, verbose, weird thing, and that's why a lot of people get turned off by JavaScript. But the more you do it, the more you mess with it, it will not become clear just by listening to someone. You got to actually try it. So I was saying, if you want to make some paladins or something to get a couple more in there, or we could just do this similar thing, then and it'll really be clear when we get into tables, because I think tables are pretty cool.
Okay. And then will I be able to use this to update a table on the fly?
Exactly.
So if I were to do tic-tac-toe, it would be like using this.
We could do tic-tac-toe with table. That'd be a lot of fun. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, so that's what we should try to do next week.
Okay, that sounds cool. You want to make tic-tac?
I think so. So yeah, tic-tac-toe. So it starts with blank, and then you can either X or O, right? And then if you get 3 in a row, then you win.
Let's do
So
tic-tac-toe. That's a classic.
yeah.
I show that to people all the time. It's like one of the. It's like it's a perfect thing once people are comfortable making a variable because all you need is a few variables.
Right. Okay. So get element by ID. Let me read this one more time before I see if I have any questions. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay, defer area. So again, this is running gold first and then script first.
Excuse me.
This. So what we're doing in index right now is we're running gold first, then script. Is that correct? When you defer, the defer SRC.
It's still running gold first. Yeah, it's just running these scripts before it executes anything in the body.
Right. Okay. Oh, so it has it like stored or whatever in memory. Okay. And then I create the buttons in the index, which makes sense because that's where what shows up on the website. Span is player label gold. Okay, I see. So span is like this ever-changing sort of thing that starts off as you have 0 gold, and then later it morphs either into game over or you have 5 gold.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So span can be really anything. It's just
Mm-hmm.
something that ever changes, I guess.
Yep.
And it's based on what your player label gold is. That's what's changing to. Okay. All right. I get the index now. It's just changing to whatever player label gold becomes. And player level goal can be whatever we want. It could be a digit, or it can be some sort of
Mm-hmm.
sentence or whatever. Okay, so I get that variable gold equals 0. Get it? You start at 0. Add 1 gold plus plus. I get that. You have blah blah blah. Okay, so document dot get element by ID player label gold dot inner HTML equals gold dot toString. So what I understand of that line is you're making something to a string so you can output it. Yeah, and you can output it as player label gold. So, okay, so what does player label gold equal to? So let's say we hit add 1 gold. It should show you have 1 gold, right? Essentially.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I see. So it says you have plus gold plus. Okay, I see. So gold.
It's like a Mad Lib.
Mhm. Mhm.
This is called concatenation. Where
I get it. So console.log does nothing except to the console. It does nothing to the result.
mm-hmm.
It's the document.element.id that does something to the result.
That's right.
I see. Okay. Now I get it. So really you don't even have to have console.log, right? Like to change the result.
That's right.
I see. Okay, got it.
And as you can see, I omitted mine. So now it just does this. It does, my console.log doesn't do very much anymore.
I see. I get it now. I get it. Okay, so then it says function update spans. Okay. Who's calling update spans again? Let me see. So that's in script, and that is initializing program. Blah blah blah. Like, why do we even need script.js? I guess. So it's saying it runs initialize,
Mm-hmm.
and then it says something like that doesn't mean anything,
Initializing program.
but then it actually runs update spans,
Right.
which is defined in gold,
That's right. It gets access to gold.
and that just says you have blank gold, and
Mm-hmm.
that's your current spans. Okay.
That got rid of the question mark.
Mm-hmm. It says document.element equals output, and then
Mhm.
output it. Oh, I see. So you're making. Okay. I think I get this. So player labor gold is in this function update spans. That's where player label gold becomes that phrase. You have X gold,
Mhm.
which I see, which gets updated every time you hit the button. Okay, I get it. I get it.
Mhm.
Get element by ID in HTML. Game over. Okay, I think I get it. Okay, I think my next one using this would be um um what I want to do with this I think is
What's your button gonna be?
I think I'm gonna have a button that says buy bread, and the bread will
Perfect.
be worth 5 gold. And so if you minus by
Ooh.
5 or more, then it'll say you don't have enough money to buy bread.
Okay,
I think that's what I'll do.
that's good. So how about this?
So it'll do increments of 5.
And you lose gold, but you gain bread. Can you do that?
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's
And
your
then there's a new
challenge.
thing that's okay. So it says how much bread you have, and then how much gold you have. So
Yes.
you can keep pressing. But okay, that makes sense.
So
I could
that's
try
your
that.
challenge. And then if
Okay,
you get stuck, I'll help you. And then if you don't get stuck, then I don't know. I have to time attack to get caught up or something like that. Yeah.
okay.
Would
No,
that be
no,
cool? That'd be a
that
cool
would be good.
challenge.
Yeah.
So
So the bread and the gold, the
so
bread
if
and the gold.
so if you're stuck, that's going to be what we're going to do next time. So as we start with challenge mode. So if you're stuck, I have to help you get unstuck. But if
Yep,
yours works
yep.
perfectly, then you have to
Then we'll
tell
go
me
to the
what it
next.
does, and I have to do it for the kids online who are
Okay,
watching.
okay. That makes
I
sense.
don't think we have a ton of viewers. I think it's just us. But I
It's
think,
just us.
but,
It's just us.
but that's
But it's
okay.
okay.
Eventually, right? It's a
It's
because
yeah.
the
It's
last one
eventually.
actually got like I think 10 viewers or something like that. So it wasn't all me.
Mm.
So I think it's good. And then regardless, I have a feeling this will be good because this is a lot of fun, right?
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm
Okay.
starting to understand it.
Yeah, dude.
So it took
Dude,
me a while to
Henry,
work through it.
imagine your
Yeah.
try hard lifestyle mixed with coding.
Oh my god, it'd be crazy.
Shoot, you'd just be like
Like,
destroyed.
oh.
You know what I'm saying?
I
You
feel
could
like.
automate your current job. Imagine you
Oh
had
my
more
god.
free time because you used like macros in Excel or what. I don't know what it is. I don't know really exactly all the things you do. A lot of things you do is talking to people, but imagine if you
Dude,
used some coding to calculate
dude,
depreciation
I think a lot of it can be automated with some sort of AI
and
or some programming.
get more time for leisure and,
Yeah,
whatever. Or
I agree.
or just make the next dude, you could make that game you're playing. Okay, dude, trust me, you can
Make
make
it
that
so
game you're
fun
playing.
too.
It's really fun. It'll be fun for you to make it.
It will be fun to make it.
Okay, so that's your challenge to make your breads.
Okay, so breads that's worth 5 gold, and then you have to add enough gold to actually buy the bread. I think
That's right.
that's the test.
Mm-hmm.
Buy that bread.
Yeah,
Okay, I
buy
think
them
I get
breads.
that. I can get that. I can get that.
Okay, great job.
Good job.
okay,
Good job.
okay, well,
Are you gonna go to bed?
I don't go to bed right at 9. I'm gonna just
Mm,
probably I just cut some fruit. I just gonna have probably some fresh pineapple and cantaloupe.
okay,
I'm gonna have some
that
fresh
sounds pretty
pineapple and
tasty.
cantaloupe and enjoy myself. Does that sound pretty good?
That sounds really good.
Maybe play some Hexen, some
Oh,
what was it? Hexen, chocolate Hexen.
chocolate hexen. That's cray.
Cray cray.
That's cray.
But dude, do you see how this is so much better than like grinding out like Path of Exile? or something? Like you could have been grinding this out. You know what I'm saying? And like made Path of
Wow. Yeah.
Exile. Really, you
That's fair. That's fair.
you can make anything with this stuff. And want me to show you Piscal or no? Are you
What's fiscal?
check out this one Piscal app. You can create a sprite in here. Are you watching on the
Okay.
screen?
Yeah, it's delayed though, so recognize.
That's fine. No, you're fine. piscolab.com.
My screen is still sharing.
Yeah, yeah.
How do I change that? Oh, here we go. There. Ended. I don't want to get on those naughty sites when I'm being recorded.
Naughties? Who's naughty?
But it's, like all the ASMR I watch.
Oh, that's good. That's good for the economy.
It's so good for the economy.
Why would you say naughties?
What does that Catman do? I forget her name.
Oh, cat plant's
Oh,
amazing. Cat plant's
she is kind of amazing.
cat plant's a hero.
The girlfriend doesn't think she's amazing, but that's okay.
That's not being inclusive. You gotta let the cat plants in your life.
Yeah, no, I get it.
ASMR.
So wait, what are you drawing here? I mean, that's pretty cash.
Pretty cash.
It was interesting. This last week, I've been looking at investment and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at Kansas City, and it seemed like still wasn't like if I bought a place with 20% down, I wasn't gonna make like cash flow. I had to put more than 20% down. So I was
20%.
Yeah.
You
so
were
I'm
thinking
trying
about
to.
doing. I mean, would you really even need a 20%?
No, I wanna find a place where I can put 20% down and get cash flow positive.
Oh, like by renting it or something?
Yeah, because then
What's this?
then I can that is
a little bit burnt. Is it too burnt?
It's like bread.
It's a little bit too
No.
burnt. It looks like burnt bread, right? It's like the
Yeah.
burnt I got at Little Caesars.
Or it looks like a bunch of heads.
Ew, that's weird.
It looks like a bunch of little heads.
Bread heads?
Mm-hmm. It looks like a boot. Maybe. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know.
Does that look like bread?
It looks like a boat, sort of. I mean.
What does bread look like?
Bread more. No, okay, so it's not bread. It's not bread. I'm thinking. Looks like a ship, maybe?
Yeah. I didn't do that good, did I?
So. Wait, does it help if you zoom out? Because I saw you zoom out, but I'm just wondering if that's supposed to help me garner.
It's too much shiny. It's too shiny on top to be bread.
Is it? Okay.
Now does it look like bread?
Or do you want it to?
Yeah, I want it to look like bread. Does that look like bread?
No, not really. I mean, I feel like bread
It
is
looks like, kind of like bread.
a little
like
bit.
Got the dots on top.
A little bit. A little bit. I feel like what would make it look more bread? Are you're trying to display a loaf, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a loaf.
I mean, that looks like bread, I guess.
It's getting closer to bread.
Yeah.
It's too brown.
I think you need more like those little head things like people do. Like so, you normally bread I think would even okay yeah I think that looks more like bread now. Yeah, that looks more like bread now.
Bread like.
Yeah.
Okay.
That looks more.
What is it? Maybe I put some steam on it, so it's like.
Yeah, you put that steam on there. I mean,
fresh from the oven. Fresh from the oven.
Yeah, I think that looks more like bread. There. If you darken it too much, no one eats bread that dark.
No one wants that burnt bread. So that's a fun site. So you could check that out. I'm gonna save this. I think this is pretty good. Export.
What is it called?
Piscal app. I'm gonna save my bread piece.
Okay.
Desktop bread.
I think it's gonna be so I don't know, I gotta keep looking around. I wanna find a place where it makes sense. It makes sense. But I don't know, like here's the other thing, like if you actually end up going to Kansas, that's like
Dude, you could buy a house in Kansas clean. You don't need to
yeah, I don't
rent
know,
it.
but
Why do you even care
well
about that?
the problem is like you want to leverage, right? You want to leverage your credit. Like there's no benefit to owning clean other than the fact that I
Weren't you
mean
going to
there's
remote?
yeah, I'll remote, but like there's no real the biggest benefit is having an asset like 100% control, like you own it, but then not actually having any like having equity is fine, but not having any actual like tied up assets to it. There was a video I saw that was really interesting about it. It was like if a property like actually
I think your
appreciate.
camera fell on the ground.
Oh, it did. There we go. Here we go. So it's like if a property appreciates at a certain level and then you refi, you can actually like offset your entire down payment essentially, and it's almost like everything. Your house is 100%.
If it
100.
appreciates.
Right. If it appreciates, right, then you can basically refi and then have like none of your liability tied to it basically because the cash flow is positive and plus everything that you put into it you essentially have like but then the benefit is you have 100% control of it. So I'll give you an example. Like the most extreme example is why would I pay off my condo in San Francisco? Well, like there's no reason, right? Because if I did that, if I wanted to pay like so let's say I had 400 grand just lying somewhere and I have 400 grand left on my
This
mortgage.
bread game might be good enough to.
Well, there's no the break might be, but there's no benefit for me to take 400 grand
Right.
and pay down my mortgage because I have all the same rights as if I owned it outright. The only downside is I have this mortgage, right? And the mortgage is not that bad because the way the government looks at you is if you have a certain amount, you can write off a certain amount, right? So it's not a bad thing having a mortgage, at least in the eyes of the government, because they don't penalize you as much because you can write off that interest payment as part of non
As a
income.
liability or something? Or
Exactly. And then I can take my assets, I can take the 400 grand and then go and invest it elsewhere and then buy other property versus just owning this outright. What benefit does it give me other than the fact that I don't have the mortgage, but then I can write all of that off anyway. You know what I mean?
I think
Like,
it's fine as long as the market continues to go in your direction. I think if the market crashes and you're still.
well, here's the thing: but you're protected both ways. So, if I had 400 grand owed, and let's say the market crashes and my place becomes worth 100 grand,
Right.
I can walk away, and then the government or the mortgage company eats it because I can just walk away and BK. Like,
Oh, you can BK.
so what I'm saying is I don't take the risk.
Right.
But if you own it outright, you have 100% of the risk. Let's say there's an earthquake and some shit hits the fan, and then you lose it. At least if I don't own the whole thing outright, I can walk away and I still had all the controls like I owned it 100%, but then I didn't have all the risk because I didn't have all the the money's tied to it. So that's what I'm saying. It's like you can leverage.
But hold on, you're not even if you BK, right? Or you still have a home. And it's like, so BKing when you own a home is different from BKing if you don't. I'm pretty sure. So they look at that
Well, that's what happened in 2008. Everyone short sold because they just basically walked away from the property, and then that's why the banks had all these assets or all these properties that they were trying to sell because everyone walked away because it became so underwater that everyone said it's not worth me paying this jumbo loan to have this property.
But I think you're pretty responsible. I don't think you'd run into something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to worry about
Agreed. But if my place, let's say, God forbid, my place.
You know what? I'm going to switch this, Henry, so it looks like it switches from coding mode to
let's talk about
Let's switch. Let's call.
financial.
Wait, what if Henry? What if we call this mode? Um. What is it? What are those shows you like to watch? Podcasts.
Yeah. Let's
Podcast mode. So now we're in
podcast.
podcast mode.
Perfect.
What do you think of
Perfect.
this? Welcome to
Perfect.
podcast mode.
I wanna
What do you
see
think
the
about
pod.
that? What do you think
I
about
think
that?
I think that's pretty
I
cool.
think this is cool. This is interactive. It's just some drag and
Mm-hmm.
drops.
Yeah.
Some drag and drops.
So so it was interesting. I was starting to look at some duplexes and some because those seem to be more cost efficient here in the city, and I'm starting to realize the reason why is probably because all the duplexes and the quadplexes or whatever the multi-unit places are, they're mostly older, so they're all tied to some sort of rent control,
I love
meaning
that.
the people that once you buy it, you're not going to be able to rent it anyway for market rate. So most people are incentivized once they're in a below market rate place to stay there, right? So I don't know. I mean, I looked at Vegas. It's still kind of high too. If you put 20% down, you're really not going to be making any money. I think the one area in California that looked like maybe was like down in like I don't know. It was like what was it? It was like down in kind of the boondocks too. It was like
Wait, you're thinking about getting a place in Vegas to rent to
yeah. It
people?
would have been.
Oh.
So that's what Dern's currently doing. He's got a bunch of places in Vegas, but like I was looking, Vegas has gone up quite a bit lately, so I don't think it's really worth that. So I don't know. I mean, think it makes I think it makes a lot of sense. I think there could be a lot of value, depending on like. See, the problem is like Kansas sounds nice, but I've never been there. I don't know the up and coming area. Like the
I wasn't.
ideal scenarios.
I don't think Kansas was my plan because of it was going to be an investment for the real estate. I was just thinking
Right.
because
Right.
I would be able to
You want
get.
land.
I would.
You
I
want
want.
land.
Yeah, to do my experiments and stuff.
What about Alaska though? I mean, you can get a lot of land in Alaska. You get like an acre, like maybe 2 acres, maybe three.
I might end up doing. I want to do. I want to stay in the continental first, and then I want to
Okay.
branch out in Alaska and also
Because
ships, naval.
yeah, because I think Alaska is like the cooling, right? Like if you have a bunch of servers, then you
It's
have
and
like
it, right,
innate
and it's
cooling.
you get the access to the cold, and then
Yeah.
you don't have to because it's hard to rent in Antarctica because it's just kind of like
Right.
Antarctica is really like the coldest place on Earth in some parts. I heard.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, you have innate abilities to deal with cold more than most people.
Hmm. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You have the what is it called? What was it from D2? It's iron bark or iron skin? I don't know what it is. But
Oh, right.
um,
The
yeah,
built-in natural
built
resistance.
yeah,
Natty
passive
res.
resistance.
Natty
Yeah,
res.
yeah,
Natty
exactly.
res.
Yeah, totally natty res. I mean that's why like you could walk around the city in San Francisco. You didn't even fret. You didn't have any
I
concerns.
did well in the city.
That's what I mean. Most people don't. Most people get wrecked
Oh, they
here.
get cold.
They get super cold. I got really cold today. Today it was like
What kind of
60. It's
jacket
the
do you
first
have?
day. It wasn't. I mean, it was a sweater. I wore a sweater today, and it was kind of.
Not for this time. And you would wear something like a something with lining this
Mhm.
time of year.
Mhm. Mhm.
But it's not. In San Francisco. You need to have like a trench coat or something that has like a lining.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then I remember. Gosh, I wish I still had that. It was like a thin one, and it was
Mhm.
light, but it had a little bit of lining. And then now I have my new one, which is like a half style, which is still quite good.
Okay. Okay. Um. Damn, I'm gonna lose fantasy this week. So, I forget what was this. Oh. Um. So next weekend, I'm going to Vegas on Friday,
Hmm.
and then I come back. Let's see, what time is it? I think I come back on Sunday. But I should be able to be back in time to finish the project. Let me just make sure I have the right time here. So
I mean, we could skip to we could. Do
Or
you
we could
want
do it
to
like
the week after?
or we could do it like in between if you have available. So my flight is I fly back. I get home on Sunday at 9:55. That's plenty of time. I should have 7 hours before we go live, so it
Oh,
should be
9:55 a.m.
yeah,
Oh,
9:55 a.m. Yeah, so I should be good. I'll be a little hungover, but
oh boy.
it's all good. It's all gravy, baby.
Okay, well then you could do your buttons on the plane or something.
Yeah, exactly. I'll do my buttons everywhere. But I was gonna ask. So everything else at work is going good.
Oh yeah, my stuff is going good. So I'm just
Yeah.
I'm mainly focusing on getting my I have a binder where I'm doing all my game stuff, so I'm keeping track of it, and it's going quite well.
Nice. Jeffrey came up this week in the city. He called me late though, so I couldn't see him.
Mm.
It's pretty crazy. So his mom is 72 now, I think, but
Hmm.
she's still working. And I guess the company she works for, has a policy where you normally can't pull pension until you retire, but if you hit 72 and a half, I think you can start withdrawing,
Hmm.
even if you still want to work. So it's a point where it's like they're playing chicken, right? Where she's hoping they let her go and they give her a severance because she's working over 35 years, right? And so normally the severance is 2 weeks every year you work. So can you imagine getting paid
Oh,
for 70 weeks at your full pay and then being retired? Like that's ideal, right? But at the end of the day, like she's not pressured into leaving. And here's the thing, they don't really want to fire her because one, she's a hard worker, but then two, that's an EPL lawsuit if you fire someone for ageism, right? So like they're playing chicken a little bit. Like they're hoping she retires, but she's thinking, well, if I can get pension and I can still work, then I'm just gonna do that. So we'll see what happens.
that kind of stuff, right? It's almost like that is when there's not a regenerative income. Do you
Right.
see? Do you see how the
No,
mindset?
yeah,
It's
yeah. The mindset's
the
very different. Yeah,
the
yeah. Regenerative income is what you need.
regenerative
Absolutely.
income, because at the end of the day, I I'm not I'm not playing that game, at 70.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Agreed.
if I mean,
I don't want that to play the game either. No one wants to play.
and I'm not saying anything about doing that or whatever, but what I'm saying is like, um, if you know how to code, you know how to make stuff.
Yep.
If you know how to make stuff that knows how to make stuff, trust me, it's going to be a different animal.
You're gonna have to.
I mean,
Yeah,
imagine,
yeah, yeah.
imagine. Okay, right. Look at you right now, right? Imagine you have worked on coding for 30 years, starting today.
Hmm.
How
Hmm.
beast mode would you be at coding with your try hard lifestyle?
Oh my God.
Be a,
I'd have. I'd
yeah.
have yes, it'd be
How many
amazing.
assets? How many functions do you think you'd have? How many mini projects? Like,
How many how many Brismals?
oh boy. By that time, you'll
Oh,
have, oh boy.
oh boy, oh boy. No, it would be. No, I absolutely agree with you. I think you're right. I mean, I think that's the mindset you need.
That's why I'm not. I'm a little bit. I mean, I'm doing well with my mountain here, but there's a bird behind me. I don't know how is that bird still staying in the same spot. I don't know, but I don't know if you can see it, but the
You're talking about a literal bird or a
yeah, there's a
figurative?
bird. Look at.
I don't
Do you
see a
see it?
bird.
Look at.
I don't see a bird.
Do you see it? It's like,
I'm looking.
see it now?
I don't. I, oh, there's a bird.
I don't know how it's doing that. But anyway, I'm doing well here in mountain. That's- but
Nice.
but basically, it's like you know, if you're making things, then eventually it's going to catch up. And like even the simple modules I've made so far have helped me make stuff faster. So I'm not too worried about that kind of stuff.
No, that makes sense.
Like,
Yeah, bet.
yeah, we can
Not
button up.
yet.
We can button up. We can button up here, coach.
We're good. She's It's funny. She was like, "Oh, I want to learn how to code." And I was like,
Just watch the
"Okay."
show. Just watch the
I know
show.
exactly. Watch Toad fall on REPL.
Watch Henry Learns a Code. It's available now.
Hmm.
It's free.
It is free.
It's free to
It's
watch.
free on YouTube's on Verdon.
That's right. Right on TV. Over on TV. Free to
That's
watch.
right.
Enjoy
That's
life.
right.
Enjoy life.
It's your life. Yeah, I need to figure out whether I can.
Think about all these things, right? Leveraging this, doing all this, doing all this, doing all that. At the end of the day, it's not free. Nothing is free
Agreed.
because everything takes up
All the
multitasking.
politicians that say things are free is
They just
lying.
they
They're lying.
they don't get it. And
There's nothing free in this world.
either that or else they get it or they're hoping that other people don't get it and they just take the bait. But what I'm saying is people that learn how to code, even if you can do something that saves 3 seconds a day, that is in a
That's
week.
efficiency. Yeah.
Imagine a
It's
week.
yeah. If you could save everybody 3 seconds
Oh my
in
God.
the volume play, that's a massive amount of savings.
Even yourself. Three
Yeah.
seconds a day, right? A little function that does something.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Like
I
I already
agree.
made something. A little financial tracker thing in Excel using what I've learned about functions.
Yeah.
And you know what Excel is? Are you good at Excel? Or do you use
I'm okay. No, I use Excel a lot.
Okay,
I
so
use
if you use Excel, Excel is nothing more than an intro to databases. You can use Excel and you already know half of SQL.
Yeah.
Did you know that? My dad didn't
No.
believe me when I was telling him. I said, "Did you know that you know half of SQL?" And he's like, "What?" And I said, "Yeah. I checked. The functions are almost the same because they're all based off of, I guess they're based off of Visual Basic style functions."
Right. Hmm. Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Excel was based off of Visual Basic.
Here's the thing, though. Like, do you think that? I mean, and I think this
Or
will
just
come a
basic.
point.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be AI that can actually do basic programming too, right?
There,
I mean, I think
when?
generic. Some of the. I mean, we see it sometimes in the template stuff, but like some programming will be doable by some AI at some point.
For what?
I don't know. Some
Like to
some.
do what we did today?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
something
You
that's
could make
something.
something where it makes like suggestions or
Mhm.
did you mean that? Happens all the time in Android or if you when we do Eclipse with Java, we'll do that
Mhm.
next or
Mhm.
something. Do you want to do Java next?
Yeah, we can do Java or whatever. I
Because I
mean,
think this JavaScript is going pretty well. So I was thinking like, but anyway, if you look at Eclipse, sometimes you hover your mouse over something and it says, "Do you mean to import this?"
yeah.
Or did you mean this? But that's in of itself, it's pattern matching, which you
Hmm.
could say is the basis for intelligence and problem solving is identifying patterns. But
Yep.
to say that something could write exactly what you wanted, I think it would take an basic AI how they are right now. It would have a tough time writing even your simple clicker today.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that it doesn't have the power to do it. It's not that it doesn't know how to write these functions. It's that it might not understand exactly how you want to do it.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Is so being able to communicate what you want. And since I, know how to code, I'm like, oh, I'm guessing you want this all in the same line. You want to affect this span without doing another span. Let me help you with that.
Right.
Things like that. And even if you know how to code, there's no penalty to actually. Did you know that you benefit when the AIs get smarter if you know how to code?
No.
It's massively because the libraries get easier to use. It's happened to me like 3 times. Like that's why
Okay.
I'm getting more into JavaScript now because JavaScript was not as easy before.
And it's gotten
It's
easier,
gotten
right?
easier. It's gotten
I
easier.
see.
It's gotten better. You can make Java style classes now in
Hmm.
JavaScript and it's legit. You could do
Mhm.
inheritance and stuff. Call super.
Mhm.
We'll go into all that stuff. Don't worry about it. It's going to be
Mhm.
really cool though.
Mhm. Mhm.
Do you do depreciation? What are some factors you do in your insurance stuff?
Depreciation we don't do much on. I mean,
What are formulas that you need?
oh, for insurance.
Yeah,
Um, okay.
compound interest,
No, I think the let me think.
liability.
So liability is one that you really can't. I don't know if you can really automate that. Because anyone can sue you for anything, and it really depends on. So most insurance companies will rate your, like, let's say, general liability based on your square footage, right? Because it's just like your homeowner's policy. You get sued, your risk of getting sued is dependent on how much floor space you have, for a typical business, or revenues is the other rating basis to use. But generally, and sometimes it's, think about it this way: like a homeowner's policy, they base it. I mean, square footage is probably the most generic, because they say, hey, if you have a big lot, and then you have more risk to people coming onto your premises being injured. And if anyone gets injured on your premises and you invite them there, that's your fault, right? That's
Right.
your liability, because you owe everybody a duty to keep them safe as they're on your premises. That's kind of the logic behind it. Is if they're on
But
your
we
premises.
can make a mock one that is like for a game or something
It's
where if
true.
you have a
Yeah.
larger place,
Yep.
yeah, if you have more stuff in your place, your
Mm-hmm.
policy goes up, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. And then I think people might have fun following along on something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting to think about risk, right? I
Hmm.
mean, we think about our risk like, the question I get always is, how much umbrella insurance should I buy for myself, right? And
Hmm.
that's a really common question, and I think the question hinges on if you have any assets, right? If you're gonna hit someone in your car, how much are going to sue you for, right? California's minimum, the statutory limit is only 15,000, 30,000, and 5,000, and that's for each accident, each individual, and property damage, I think. So you can just imagine, like, if you hit someone in a vehicle, like, you're going to blow by those limits, right? So if you own any assets that they can come after you for, that's kind of at least the minimum limit that you want to carry, because they're just going to come after whatever you have. So if you own a house that's worth $1 million, you should carry $1 million in liability limit, because they will sue you for your house if it was your fault, and they prove that that it was your fault, even if it wasn't. If they prove it's your fault, and they say you were negligent and liable, and here's your assets, you're worth $1 million, and I'm going to see you $1 million. So the base minimum is, if you own anything, a business or a property or whatever, the limits that you should buy are at least equal to your total assets. That's the kind of the basic rule of thumb. um, the thing that a lot of people don't have assets, don't have property, and so what I find is, even people that I've dated, is they'll buy the minimum because they don't care, and
Hmm.
that's what will happen. So if someone hits you and they don't have a lot of money or don't have any assets, what are you gonna do? You can't really sue them for much more than what they have, right? So what do you do? So the that's why that in itself becomes its own industry. So there's a product called uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage, right? So if someone hits you in their car, you're worth $1 million and you can't work anymore, and you're going to lose $2 million in revenue. You can't sue them because they really aren't worth that much. The underinsured or uninsured motorist coverage will cover you for the difference, in the event that the person who's liable doesn't have enough limit or has no insurance to cover you, right? Let's say he or she is an illegal immigrant and has no coverage, and they hit you, right? So that in itself, it's a market of itself. But yeah, I think the most general question I get from the personal space is like, how much should I buy? And the rule of thumb is, generally you should at least match the asset base that you currently have.
Mm.
Um, so that's a basic one. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of things to be automated in terms of our industry. and it specifically relates to how you get the data, how you get the information. I think some insurtech companies are starting to get it. So there's a coverage called cyber liability, which covers you in the event that you're hacked and or you lose third party information. And I think
That's big. That's big.
yeah, and especially now. So California, I think, has a new law where it's similar to something in Europe called GDPR, which has special laws and provisions around how you handle third-party data, specifically as it relates to privacy. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But generally speaking, um, that's a big risk for a lot of tech companies right now is the cyber liability. No one really knows what they're exposed to. I mean, at the very minimum, as a company, if you lose data, you're going to have to give some credit monitoring for free, et cetera, et cetera. And that's like the basic, right? That you would have to give. I think the most recent, I think there was something that just recently came out where some data was actually it was I think there was a shared economy company who lost a bunch of data related to a bunch of people who signed up to their service. And I don't want to be specific to who they are.
Right. Yeah, don't
But
put them on
yeah,
blast.
yeah, but they were gonna. I'm sure it's gonna be a fair amount of money because they've lost a lot of user data. And they, but that's part of the thing is like if you find out, you actually are required to disclose it, and if you don't, then you get even more penalized, right? So it incentivizes companies to do that.
Almost every company these days has been a victim of some breach. It's unbelievable. It's
So
almost like
yeah, that's true.
it's like what am I
That's
gonna
true.
do?
That's true. They
Every
get right.
every every company I've like. I mean, I even had the shoe store said they had a data breach.
And a breach?
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
really? Are you kidding me? The shoe store
yeah.
had a data breach, so
Yeah.
they know what size sneakers I wear. Come on, they know the size of my Reebok pumps
Yeah, well, exactly. They
and
know
my credit
who your
card
pumps are and where you live.
and my credit card number. Great job.
Exactly. um, but I think an interesting one would be so I've been trying to do research on areas to invest in. I don't know. I mean, property has been one that I've been looking at a little bit, and I think talking to Larry a little bit. He works at a company that is all about real estate, and it seems like I guess and no one knows, and this is the thing, no one knows what's going to happen, but the
No one
consensus is
knows.
the market should cool, and there should be some downturn, but no one knows. No one knows when. No one knows it'll be 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, it's all cyclical, but no one knows. So it's really a question of, and so in my mind, it really becomes a question of if you buy it today, can it give you cash flow positive impact? That's really at the end of the day the ultimate question, because regardless of if the value of the property goes down or up, um, as long as you can rent it for more than your 30-year fixed mortgage plus taxes, etc., then then it's an asset that generates revenue, right? So it's passive. So that's the big question, at least for me, from an investment perspective. It doesn't matter where it is.
Gotcha. And even having an asset that is growing with you as you work.
Yep.
That's why they do it. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But some people lost their shirt in 2008 because they were over.
Well, they
They
were,
were
yeah. Well, a lot of people were buying homes that they had no business or had no financial wherewithal to
or the loan
purchase.
wasn't correct,
They were,
right? They got
yeah.
the
Well,
balloon.
they were getting jumbo loans where they put zero down and they got like a $900,000
I
house,
ain't
and then
playing that game.
yeah, and then it was
No.
an ARM. It was an ARM, meaning the mortgage adjusted after 5 years to a point where they could never afford it, right? So the controls around who they gave loans to were very, very stretched and kind of ridiculous, I guess, right? So, I mean, we saw that movie together and we're like, oh my goodness, it was kind of an eye opener.
And
It
I
was a
watched
really
that
good movie.
again with my mom. I watched it
Oh yeah,
again with her.
yeah, what did she say?
She
She's
was
just
that was
like,
awesome.
that
It was
was
like
awesome.
educational
It was
film.
educational, yeah. And it's really interesting seeing the laws in California right now, and talking to your parents about it. It's like it's kind of cray what's going on. I think you saw the latest. I think there was the law did pass. I think it was
Really?
a statewide rent control. I think,
Oh, that's
but
different. That's different from the
yeah,
other one.
it's different. But dude, when I was in Newport, I
What
heard
happened?
3 different people talking about that legislation that was about property tax. Though, like I know a lot of people in Newport are all talking
Are
about
they
it
scared
because
about it?
I think everyone's scared about it. Yeah,
Hmm.
and we'll see what happens. But it's something that it's going to be a problem. You're going to see an exodus of people if it were to happen. But that being said, like so the rent control one, the one that did
Well, tell me
pass.
about the rent control one.
So from what my understanding is, and I don't want to misspeak, so I'm going to Google this, but it's going to be a statewide California rent
Oh, because
control.
they don't want to lose people moving out. Is that why?
Well, I mean,
Because I'm basically like, you know what I'm saying?
well, yeah, but
That's why I'm
it's
fleeing, is because I never am going to be able to buy
yeah.
property, and
Okay,
eventually I'm going to
here we
get
go.
boxed out, like in
S- s-
basketball.
Yeah, so September of 19 this is the new law. It was AB 1482 anti-rent gouging bill is how they named it, right?
Crazy.
Of course Gavin Newsom calls it that. And Gavin Newsom's one of those silly guys. Let's see, what does it say? So, how would it impact so any units built before 1978 the bill will apply to. Um
Hmm.
and then a narrow margin of homes between 78 and '09, about 1.2 million or more homes in LA County. So it's fairly narrow in scope. I mean, most of the I imagine your parents' place is probably built after 78. I don't know.
We don't want
But
to
it
talk too
doesn't
much
matter
about
if they
parents,
were.
please. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. But I think actually I think 78 actually is kind of more recent now that I think about it.
78.
Uh, yeah, I mean, most people probably live in a place that's older than 78. 78 is not even that old.
It's like
I mean,
80.
yeah. I don't know. So we'll see what happens,
So
but
what are they saying? The
essentially,
rents can only be so high, or what?
well, it caps your I mean the thing about it is it caps the increase in rents by 5% plus the consumer price index, which is about 2.5% in the state. So about 7.5 to 8% a year.
Per year, but that's still a lot.
That's still a lot. So quite honestly, that
That's
probably
not that
doesn't
big
do
of a deal.
much.
Are people
Yeah,
are
yeah. That's
people raising more than that? Are people like doing
well,
like 20% a year or
I don't
something?
know anybody who's doing more than that. Honestly, I quite honestly
I
don't.
think
So
Jason said that.
it's more sick.
I think Jason. That's why he moved in. The thing is because he said that they raised it like 50%.
Yeah, I mean, before they could. I mean, you could raise it to whatever you want, right? But yeah, it looks like this is a nationwide before 78, caps at seven and a
Hmm.
half to 8%. I don't know anyone who's really been hit that like more than that a year, quite honestly. But I think it's more of a political ploy. Hey, we're trying to help people, but
Hmm.
I don't think that many people are impacted by that specific law. Whenever you see rent control legislation, usually it's tied to something saying, "Hey,
I mean,
I'm
it's
76 years
7.8,
old." 78
7.5.
was pretty high. I mean, like, yeah. I
It's
mean,
still a lot,
yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
but at least it's not 10%. I mean, it could be worse.
That's true. Fair enough. Fair enough. Mm-hmm. Mm, yes. Yes.
That sounds like some ASMR happening over there. So that's good. So hey, I think that see that I think that was a good podcast too, huh? So want to do we have, and if you have time afterwards, we could do podcast afterwards.
We should. We should.
That's kind of an
Well,
interesting thing.
I have a lot of interesting things actually. I was actually going to ask. So we've talked about this concept
Okay.
before, and I don't know if you need to go already.
No, we're good.
But okay. So UBI has become at the forefront again, right, of this Democratic primary.
What's
Um,
UBI?
Universal Basic Income.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're trying
Okay.
to pass that. They're trying to pass that right now, right?
Okay.
Or one of the candidates is trying to get that, right?
Really?
Yeah, and fundamentally for me as more libertarian, right? I'm not entirely opposed to it. It has to be the right time, right? Because eventually, I think computers, robotics, things will do things for us to the point. It was like one of those cartoon movies. I forget what it was. I think it was Wall-E 2. I think where it's like everyone doesn't do shit because all the computers and robots are doing everything for us, right? There will be a point, I think, where UBI will be needed. Elon Musk came out in support of the candidate as well, saying, "Hey, I'm supportive of this." Um, I've thought about it a little bit. I've thought about it in a few use cases, including your own and my own, and how we would do it. Like, okay, so the proposal is $1,000 a month for every American over 18, right? And in terms of the math, they kind of go through it. Part of it is a VAT. Part of it is people coming off because you have to choose one. You can some welfare benefits, some social safety nets. You choose one or the other. You don't get stacked, right? So that'll take off some too. So okay, so SNAP, like so there, food stamps.
Okay.
Right? So if you get like $300-$400 in food stamps, like you don't get that program plus the UBI of the grand a month. You choose one or the other, right? And the reason why people would choose the food stamps over the UBI is
That's not income.
if they were getting more benefit. No. So this is supposed to be tax free grand a month.
Wow. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. You know how easy.
Where are
So
they
I was
paying
thinking,
for that? How are they paying for that?
okay, so if you take the number of people,
If you're going to raise my taxes 10,000
no,
more a year to give me $1,000 a month.
well, I agree with you. I agree with you. So here's the math behind it. And so I've been looking at it, and it seems like it kind of makes sense. So it's a VAT tax, meaning the tax is a consumption tax. It's not based on how much you earn. It's based on what you buy and how much you buy, right? So the example given was Amazon. So Amazon right now, right, the way they have things structured right now, they don't have to because they invest enough AI and they're incentivized to do so, and they have some other holdings. They're able to make it where their federal tax income is zero technically, because they are able to offset any air profits with prior year losses, right? And plus investments. So the thought behind a VAT, and this is what people in Europe use, is like every time you add value to a product, it gets taxed instead of so it becomes harder for a company to say, hey, I'm not making any money, I'm not going to pay any tax, right? So the companies and the one at the forefront that gets mentioned every time is Amazon, right? So Amazon, the argument is they're closing 30 to 40% of malls because no one wants to go there anymore, and they're sucking up all this revenue and they're not paying really any federal tax because they are able to get around that, right? So how do you fund for it? And so the VAT would make it so each stage of sale, I guess, so when you manufacture things or you sell things, there is a tax component within it, and I think the proposal is 10%, right? In philosophical terms, everyone agrees that a VAT, this sort of tax, is mostly regressive unless you make it exclusive to products that are everyday items. So if you're going to put a VAT on everything, including like your food and things that you need for necessities, then people that are on the poor end of the spectrum will suffer more anyway. So like, what's the point of doing UBI? So the candidate's proposal is you only do on things that are non-essential items. So like things like flat screen TVs or things that are higher end things, right? So it's a consumption tax, though. And here's the thing: as more of a libertarian in mind, I don't like the concept of an income tax because why? Like, it makes people incentivized to say, why should I work more or do more when I'm going to get taxed more? Whereas if it's on the other side and it's a tax on consumption, it's a little bit different. So I'm less against the consumption side tax versus an income tax, and partly because I feel like everyone everyone's behaviors.
Why do we need a UBI again?
Well,
Why
okay,
do we need that?
okay. So the argument for UBI is the fact that um, robotics and AI are going to take more jobs than they will. They're going to displace more jobs than people will be able to adjust for. So
Okay.
the example was almost half of U.S. jobs, I believe, are either retail, truck driver, or what was the other one? It's retail, truck driver, or call center worker.
Those people might want to learn how to code.
Well, that's what
That's
I'm
my
saying.
recommendation.
I
It
agree
worked for
with
me.
you,
It
but
worked for me.
I absolutely agree with you. I think it would work for some people, but can you imagine selling
Not
to?
everybody can handle it. I'll tell you
Well,
this
that's what I'm
much.
saying. Like,
Not
like
everybody
that's
can
what I'm saying.
handle what we just did. The simple thing we
That's
did
what I'm saying.
today.
That's what I'm
Not everybody
saying.
wants to do it.
But what happens if they can't do it? Like
That's
a
right.
49-year-old, like male or female that's driving a truck,
That's right.
and you're gonna say you got to code now? Like
That's
they're
right.
probably gonna
It's
be
like a
like,
joke. It's
that's
almost
what I mean.
like a they're not everybody has the patience
Agreed.
to learn something. It's painful. Learning
But
something new is painful.
so
And
what
some
do we
people are
do? What do we
physical.
do that?
This
What
is
do we
not
do that?
physical. This is
Right.
not physical.
Right. Well, but it's not physical. But
No.
not everyone's gonna want to do it.
And this might be more painful for someone using this and this than lifting things all day because there's lots of factors. Okay, some
Right.
people just want to sweat out their daily routine and just sweat it out, and then they could get home.
Maybe, maybe.
That's part of
But
it.
that's a part of it.
That's
But
why
do you think?
retail's so popular for jobs, is because it's like you just got to be there. You got to be
Right.
there for
Right.
a day, most of your day, but you get paid, and then you go home, and then everything's fine. But guess what? I mean, even at Taco Bell, the Taco Bell I go to every now and then,
Does the kiosk? Is the kiosk yet?
you know what they do? They look at me with sadness.
But
I'm
that's
like,
what. But
no, Henry, you got to hear the story.
okay, fine.
Look in the camera. You got to hear the story.
Okay,
Look in your
okay,
camera. Use your camera.
yeah,
Okay. People like it when you look in the camera.
yeah. Okay,
Okay.
wait. This camera?
Yeah.
Because this camera, I'm looking at the camera, but normally I'm looking on the side to look at you.
Oh, I
But
get it.
yeah, yeah,
But why
yeah.
don't you load up? But you're not. You don't need that. You don't need that thing anymore. You're not coding
Okay,
anymore. You
fair,
can
fair
load.
enough, fair enough. I'll look straight at the camera.
You look
Tell
straight
me
at that
why.
camera.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened was I go to Taco Bell, and the Taco Bell thing says, okay, what pizza do you want? Mexican pizza with the different things. And then so what I did was I ordered it, and then all I do is I walk up, I say, can I get my cup? And then they look at me with sadness because they know that job ain't going staying forever. Like
No, I get it.
eventually I'm not going to have to ask them for the cup. The cup is going
Right.
to come out of some like Jetsons pneumatic.
Device.
Right,
Yeah.
it's gonna be like, here's your cup, Tyler, and I'm
Right.
like,
Right. Right.
thank
Right.
you
Right.
for my cup. I need
I,
croissants.
I agree with you 100%. But here's the thing:
I agree with
when
you.
well, but if too many people get into this position where they just don't want to learn coding
Right.
and programming, and they don't have any other wherewithal to survive, like,
Right.
don't you think
Do you
it's
think
just going to be?
$1,000 enough? Because if
No, it's so. Here's
it's
the
not
thing.
even
Here's
enough,
but here's the rationale behind it. Is the rationale behind making UBI too high, and this is what the argument against UBI is like, why $1,000 a month, and then what wouldn't make the next politician just say let's do 2,000 a month, right? So the politician now that's proposing it says the reason why it's 12,000 a year or 1,000 a month is because 12 something between 12 to 13,000 is the poverty line. So it gives you that minimum.
to get out of poverty.
Yes,
Technically.
sort of,
Technically.
yes. It gives you that minimum to say, here's your baseline where you're starting at, and then you can figure out how you want to address it going forward, right? At least it takes away the like, I'm going to starve to death if I don't do my 9 to 5 retail job, right? Like that's the crux of the argument is saying it takes away that mindset of saying, hey, I have this boot on my throat and I can't do anything else. And here's the other thing is like it also helps people. I think, and in my mind, I was thinking about this in terms of just you and I. Like if you were to get this, it would make like almost easy mode, right? Like in terms of you being able to go like to Kansas anytime you wanted to and then
Right.
do
Oh,
what you want to do, it
right.
would be like easy mode, right?
It'd be like
Because
backslash win. But
right,
I have a
that's what I
feeling
mean.
it's going to be increasing my taxes
Right, I see what you're
like
saying.
by
So that
crazy.
yeah, I agree.
I have a
So I
feeling there's a catch.
there's a kid. No, I get it. Nothing's free. I totally get that. Um so I've been thinking about it a lot though, and I feel like um in the industry I've worked in insurance, etc., the only sector that I see, I guess, a wealth of wealth, I guess, is the tech sector, and so that's where they're suggesting the VAT, right?
Mm.
And I'll give you this just personal example. Like I used to work for a big large company. They moved out of their space. Who moved in? Google moved in. We moved out of our my current company moved out of their space. Like the entire waterfront of San Francisco is owned by tech. Yes, Google has basically everything from my old company's building all the way down from Market Street, like all the way in Embarcadero. So they have this, and here's the thing: it's like they have this. Monopoly of sort of, and here's the challenge is you can't break them. Like breaking them up is the whole mindset and philosophy is you break up monopolies and you don't let them exist. But like how do you break up a Google, right? Like no one wants to use um a search engine that's number two, right? Like you're always going to use the number one search engine. You're always going to use like, so like how is that a bad thing, right? So it's the whole, I think the way this space has developed has technology in itself has made itself very has made the whole monopoly principles and that free market principle a little bit not applicable, at least in that specific space, because like yeah, you could break up Google in four different companies, but how is that going to help, right? um, it's an interesting, so I've been, and I've talked to you about this before. I think UBI will be something eventually. I don't know if it's necessarily now, but it's something that has gone to the forefront of this presidential election, and we'll see
Hmm.
how it plays out. But
You think
I,
so? You think that? Because if if the cost of flat screen TVs go up,
well, it's
right?
gone down, but it's gone down, right?
But let's say the cost of flat screen TVs from a VAT perspective
Yep.
go up,
Right.
right? Because in California, there's a lot of things to buy a flat screen TV.
Yep.
There's the hazardous waste
Yep.
disposal fee.
Yeah.
There's
A
like
lot
the
of garbage.
monitor size
Yep.
fees.
Yep. Yep.
There's like all these fees, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you try and go to Pizza Hut, guess what? I paid $2 extra just for going to Pizza Hut.
Hmm.
And you want to know what it says on the receipt?
It says the healthcare thing.
No, it says things are expensive around here.
No, I
It actually
totally
says
get
that
it.
on the receipt.
No, I totally get it.
It
I totally
says
get it.
it says that hey, if you want to know what the service charge is, it's cost of doing business, and it's going to you as a consumer. That's what it says.
Yeah.
And so
No,
it's
I
not
hear you.
cheap. So I think, guess how much? I go to Pizza Hut every few months.
But if Pizza Hut doesn't see any of the increased costs from a VAT, they don't need to increase the cost from that,
But
right?
it gets passed to the consumer.
It does, but it gets passed to the consumers via via consumption,
Right.
via like
So
high
guess
tech.
how many pizzas I've been buying lately?
Well, you've been buying probably none.
Less. Very, but down to, it's
Well, that's what I'm
approaching
saying.
zero. It's approaching
But the
zero.
but
That's
if
the
the VAT doesn't
problem.
impact that at all, but that's the thing. It's
Why
like
does the VAT not impact that?
because it's supposed to be higher end sort of non-consumption goods is how
So
they've
you'll see a decrease in the consumption goods only by those who save up for it and who can absorb the monitored waste disposal fee. They can absorb the taxes of the things, and then they can absorb all these things. Wait, hear me out. And so then people will be needing to make more informed decisions. They have their coupon lined up. They know when the sales are. And then so what you'll start to see is that those costs will affect the number of jobs available at the Best Buy, which is the very people you're trying to protect with those jobs. So what's going to happen is that it'll force more automation for the businesses to become profitable.
Well, no, I
It
think
actually
minimum
feeds
wage
the
is
problem.
I think minimum wage is feeds the problem. Absolutely, it's the worst proposal ever. I think that's the problem with Bernie Sanders
But the
is
VAT, you just said that the cost of flat's
the
going to.
but the VAT is different. So here's the thing: the VAT is something that's pushed on the actual business owner, saying, hey, if you want to employ someone, you have to pay them X, and then you have to give them benefits X, Y, Z, right? So it actually makes the business owner more costly to just be in business.
Are you talking
That's the
about the
problem.
service? Are you talking about the service tax?
I'm just talking about
I thought
minimum
we were talking
wage.
about the. I'm not talking about
Yeah, yeah,
minimum
I'm
wage. I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
but
the
I'm
thing you're talking about.
no, yeah, but that's the thing. The whole argument that the left is making is which one's better, minimum wage increase or UBI or etc. Right? Like they're trying to figure
None of
out.
the above. None of the
Well,
above.
well,
Can
I
you
think
put me on the screen so you're not looking down? It looks weird. Can you put me on your actual
I
screen?
will put you on my screen. Yeah, I
There you
need to
go.
put you
It
on.
looks weird. It looks like it's
How do I
forehead.
put you on my screen?
You
Hold on.
just load up YouTube and then you close Replit.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll just look you on the
That's what we're
screen.
pro programmers. We can figure it
Yeah,
out.
and you figure it out, baby.
Figure it out, kids. Coders.
Here we go. Here's
See that?
subscriptions.
People are gonna be like, "What is this? Foreheadshow.com?" I already got big enough anyway. It's like,
No, here we go. There we go. So I'm gonna mute this.
yeah,
Okay, perfect.
and
Okay,
you can watch me on
now
this one.
I see you.
There you go. I'm like, what is he looking? What is he
Can
reading
you
it?
go to Max screen though?
Max screaming on what? Oh, make me bigger?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So just you're my whole screen, or maybe
But people
it's
want to
just
see
me and
you
you.
too on the show.
Yeah, but just maybe it's me and you. Just
That's what
maybe.
that's what the show is.
Yeah, but we don't need to see like half the page being like Henry learns the code right now, right? Like we're still talking about other stuff.
Are you saying like isn't it showing you and
It's
what is
showing me and you on like maybe a quarter of the screen, and then it shows like all our coding
Oh,
on the
really?
other. So yeah, yeah, yeah. It shows your screen on the coding.
It still shows that? Let me check that.
Yeah.
Let me load up my questions here.
Give me one second. I'm gonna go bathroom real
No,
quick.
it shows us. It shows us.
Yeah, yeah. It shows what you're highlighting: the body, head, and the
Really?
yeah,
Let me
shows it
close
all.
that. All right, you're on the stream even now after the delay.
Right now I still see W3 schools.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't even have that tab open. Maybe it'll get caught up. Give it a second.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on the same page as you. I think it's a delicate balance on when UBI is really needed. I think it's.
Here's the thing. Why don't we instead of
But
oof,
I,
it's tough. I mean, if I had that, I bet you anything the cutoff would be exactly at what I make for the grand.
you think so? You
It'll
think
be
it'd be like a grand
how
more
much
and
does Tyler
everything?
make? And they're like, okay, that's where we're going to stop it, bro.
No. But that's the
'Cause you
beauty of it.
suck.
Any means testing is counterproductive. And here's the thing, like, and here's the argument, and this is what I understand and actually agree with is any sort of help or assistance from the government that says if you make under X, you get this benefit. It incentivizes people to continue to make less than X because if they make more, then they have to make significantly more to offset the cost
Okay,
and
I got it.
benefits.
I got it. Instead of
Yep.
doing this $1,000 a month thing, why don't they just lower taxes on the poor? Done.
Well, that is actually
That's better.
so
Just
yeah,
lower
yeah no, so
taxes.
so that's the sister approach. That is called negative taxes on someone
No,
who makes under a certain amount.
no, you don't have to do negative. You just
No, that's actually what it's called. It's the most conservative economist.
look at
He,
this. This is what it's like right now. It's weird. Do you see this?
What? I see
See the
console.log.
curves? You see
What?
console.log and on the. Are you kidding me?
No, I
Are
see
you
the
on the
number is
YouTube channel?
now
Are you
14.
on the YouTube
Yeah,
stream?
I'm on the YouTube stream.
I gotta see
I
this.
have there's 3 people watching right now, including ourselves, I guess. I think it's just us. I think it's my
YouTube.
tablet and us.
Oh yeah, your tablet's quite good.
Yeah, tablet is very good.
Oh, I get it. The browsers. I need to hide the browser, the pop-up. Now do you see? Wait,
Give me like you're gonna probably give me 10 seconds before I can see it.
I get it because I still had those, and it's showing the most recent things, and they're above the XSplit. I don't know where. Oh,
I'm
live now.
still
Oh,
seeing,
live now. That's so cool.
including ourselves,
Yeah,
I
no,
guess.
it's showing
I
it
think
on
it's just
mine.
us.
Yeah.
I think it's my tablet and us.
Oh yeah. No, dude, you're not looking at this. Go to actual Overdon TV and refresh the stream.
I'm at your literal stream and I'm watching the live stream from my computer. It says 4 watching right now.
Okay, well that's because I'm loaded in another window, probably.
That's what I'm saying. So we have.
But I
we have
see my
seen-
head. I don't see Henry learns the code. I see your head.
I see my head and your head, and then I see your code.
You should not see my code.
Okay, so I'm gonna refresh it right now. I'll go ahead and refresh. I'm gonna go to YouTube here.
Dude, you're not looking at go to actual Overdon TV and refresh the stream.
I'm at your literal stream,
Okay.
and I'm watching. Here we go. Subs, Avert TV. It says 4 watching right now.
Okay, well that's because I'm loaded in another.
There we go. No, you're right. I see. I just see us now.
Yeah.
This is the best.
This
It's
is
like
the best
we're.
show.
This is like we're sitting together, just chatting.
That's right. Over a Freebird's quesadilla with chicken.
With chicken.
But yeah, so if they increase taxes,
But
it's not necessary.
okay,
Just
but it's
lower
only
taxes.
but let's say they're increasing tax only on consumption. So like
No, why?
let's say
why?
because that makes it so people
Are more
can't
choosy
get
about
out
their
of tax.
consumption.
No, but it makes it so people can't get out of. So here's the thing: do we want to penalize people for making money? No, right? Like I am fundamentally against income taxes. I think that's terrible because why punish someone who works harder and makes more money?
So you're saying that Amazon is making the U.S. dollar not pay back as much of its debt because it's not paying federal income tax?
What I'm
Because
saying
that's what
is
it goes towards. You
no.
know that's what it goes towards, right?
Yeah. No. So Amazon is a net good. I loved Amazon. I order from them, like all the time. And that's my argument against people that are saying Amazon not paying tax. I'm like, do you use Amazon? Do you love it? Okay. But the problem is it's closing.
But should they be able to leverage? Should they be able to leverage the tax system in order to keep expanding for free, right? Because
that's why I think it's.
I think that's an interesting concept.
I agree with you. I think that's the problem is all the retail stores can't compete with Amazon, so they're closing, meaning all the local stores are closing, and then what happens to the local sort of localities that don't have those stores and malls anymore, right? Like how do you? I think you're on mute now. How do you address?
I'm just listening. Can you not hear me?
Okay.
I was just listening.
Yeah, I can hear. I can hear you. It was just on delay. But that's the thing. It's like, how do you get them to? Here's the thing. Like when the candidate says, "Hey, they're automating away the jobs," it's not necessarily that Walmart and Kohl's or whatever are having robots. It's the fact that Amazon's eating it all, and then Amazon is investing in the robots and the AI that's actually doing the work.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. And so that's the interesting thing. And they're saying, look, you're going to have an issue with revenue if Amazon's soaking up all the revenue and then they're not paying any tax in federal, right? And then you're in a situation where they're the ones to gain, and the US base doesn't gain anything from that, right? They're actually losing from it because
they should just say, dude, you want to know who would make people win is you say there's a maximum corporate amount of small sliver percentage where it's like even if you write off X amount towards your growth or whatever to help with your growth, there still needs to be a minimum that goes into the coffers, and then we use that to pay back a part of our national debt, which will increase the purchasing power of the dollar. because
No, I agree. I think the debt is an issue, and no one cares about it, and not the left or the right. And it seems like everyone's like, it's the debt, and it's because partly maybe because it's like the U.S. dollar is like
it's
king.
still strong. It's still strong. It should be weaker. If it wasn't for people buying our debt, it would
Yeah.
be actually it would be much harder to purchase things in our own country.
Hmm. Yeah. I
It's a very interesting dynamic, and this was all planned.
yeah, it is.
If,
It's
so you're saying who's gonna win?
well, no. What I'm
Who's gonna
saying
win?
is, it seems like Warren. It's gonna be Warren, which I would hate because she's kind of a fake fraud, and then there's, um, and then I think Biden's gonna lose out because he's losing momentum, and he's kind of like the he's only at the top because he was like the recognized name, and then there's Bernie Sanders, who is legitimately socialist, who wants to control everything, which I don't agree with at all. And then there's these other candidates, including, this UBI candidate, and then there's Buttigieg, there's Yang, Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, who I'm fundamentally against as well. She was the California attorney.
Hmm.
But here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing for me is, um, most of the left I'm obviously not for, because all of them are for these policies that I think would wreck the country. Like they say everything should be kind of free generally.
If you
Almost all
could
of them.
want just lower taxes on the poor, dude, or make the
I
curve
agree with you. I think that might,
because it'll pay
but that would
itself.
be the
It'll
thing.
pay for itself. If you lower
That's
taxes on the
almost the
poor,
same thing
it
as
will pay
UBI.
for itself. No, it's better. Let me explain why. Because if you lower taxes on the poor, what happens is they have more money to spend towards local sales tax.
But here's the problem: is does that incentivize them to be poor? That's the
No,
problem. Like
no,
I feel like
because
everything.
they only
Why?
benefit. They only benefit by working. You just lower their income tax. Income is earned income. You know,
But I don't know if people on the lower end of the spectrum really pay any tax. Quite honestly,
they pay between. No, they do. They do because
how much?
it's even when I was making very low amounts of money, I paid a lot of taxes. It's
Yeah,
like
let me look at
it's
this.
like 10% minimum, even if you're supposed to get it all back.
Yeah,
I'm saying don't take it out. No, don't even take it out. They need that money now.
right. So like, okay, so I'm
Just don't
looking at it
take
right
it
now.
out.
Tax rate for 9,700 to 39,000 a year is 12%. So
Just
you're saying
drop it to
just no
five.
nothing.
Drop it to five.
Yeah,
Drop
yeah,
it to
yeah.
five. Done. It will pay for itself because they're going to spend. People at
Right.
that level don't have.
Well, that's the argument for UBI is if you give them
No,
a
no,
thousand
it's
dollars, all
not.
they can
No,
do is
it's
spend.
not. No, it's
Okay, so
not.
what? Okay, so tell me why not? Why not?
Because they didn't earn it.
But okay, tell me this.
It's different
So
animal when you get to keep what you earn. It's human
okay,
nature.
okay, I agree with that. But let's say you have a wife at home that's raising your kids. That's the other argument is they're counted as zero in terms of financial impact. But are they doing our country a service by raising our kids in a certain way and making them a good kid as they grow up, right? Is there a value to putting their value to something?
There's already
What value do they
dependence.
get
There's
though?
already dependencies tax stuff.
Like
If
what?
you have
Like
dependents, if you're head of household dependents,
agreed, but
joint household, right?
okay, yeah. There is
Isn't there
that.
already
If you have
systems for that?
yeah, if you have kids, there is
I'm saying increasing taxes. If you plan on paying, the, I think the person who wins out in this conversation is not who you think it's going to be. It's not going to be, the poor is not going to win. The poor rarely wins when you increase taxes on consumption. Actually, they end up being the ones who are going to be ending up paying a lot. You want people to consume.
I know
Well,
no, I absolutely agree with you. I think
did
if the poor end up losing, then that's okay. So I
they
think
will?
we fundamentally agree that the if there's too much differential between the poor and the rich, that's instability, and that's what causes issues, right? Like we don't want that. Like
Drop the poor's tax rate. Done. But they're not going to do it. You want to know why? I'm going to tell you why they're not going to do
yeah,
it.
tell me why. Tell me why.
They're not going to do it because
Yeah.
they
Okay, can you take him out?
They're okay. You want to know why? They
Yeah.
want to know why they're
Tell
not
me
going
why.
to do it?
Tell me why.
They're
Tell me why.
not going to do it because people leave poverty area once they start having a little bit of savings. All you need is a little bit of a nest egg, and then you can invest in your education. You can invest in your business idea, all these different things. And if you lower, guess what else happens? If you lower the taxes on the poor, you know what they're also going to do?
What?
They have to lower the taxes that businesses have to pay for people.
Hmm.
So if you run a business and you employ people, you have to pay taxes based off of their income tax that they make. The business pays part of that income tax. That's part of the arguing against minimum wage increases, right? You get
Hmm.
less employees because you have
Yeah,
to.
I think
But
minimum wage is terrible.
if you drop the tax rate on the poor of the lowest like three levels or whatever, then businesses will have to pay less in income tax because they only have to match those people's income tax. Do you see how that works? So if they do that, the government will end up having to actually rethink, and they'll have to audit themselves in order to come up with a slack. And that's not what they want to do. They do not want to audit. And dude, there's people that are doing things that are like jobs that are just not necessary, or there's three people doing the same job. And it's all good. Government workers need their jobs, right? But there's
I no, I
so much
agree.
excess.
It's
There's so
I
much,
agree with
so much
it's.
of crazy spending. It's
I agree with
bonkers.
that. I agree
Like the
with you.
lottery
There's
people,
no efficiency. There's no
no
efficiency
efficiency.
in
So
none.
that's why you lower the taxes. You should put the belt. The belt should be around the people that are, you know what I'm saying, that need to lose the most weight, right? And that's not the people. The people that need to lose the weight is government. And
Hmm.
if you lower the taxes on the poor aren't going to be a vote against it. And it's the one thing that no one's talking about
Yeah. So how come no one's talked about it? Like no
because they're
one
afraid
has.
of it.
Why?
Because
Like.
once people leave poverty level, they start thinking critically about what they want to do, plan ahead.
Right.
They're able
They
to
start
not
playing.
be. They're not as under the
They're not
control.
slaves to the systems.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
if you make it so people earn more of the work they do, because it's almost like, I get it. Once someone gets close to 100K, they're starting to get things figured out.
Yep.
Unless you live in California, then you're still poor,
Right. You're
you
still
know.
poor.
But then you're fine. You just move out once you got your jam done.
Yep.
California should not be a tutorial stage. California should be like you come in, you're like level 100, and you get to, you know, do whatever. But
Yeah.
there's other cities, like people should be able to build nest eggs and then populate cities that need people.
I agree. I agree. I don't
Tons of
think
empty
everyone
space
should
in this
just be
country.
urbanized.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I agree
So
100%.
just let people build up some savings, dude. Lower taxes on the poor instead of adding a new tax. So no,
Okay.
those guys aren't getting my vote.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going to be another tax.
It's gonna be
Maybe
okay. So
less.
if it okay, but even if it's consumption tax versus a
The last thing you want to
earning
do, the
tax.
last thing you want to do in an economy is add new taxes to consumption, unless you feel like
Okay,
unless
but how? But here's the argument against that, right? And I'm just gonna pose this. And I agree with you. Fundamentally, I think it's about letting the poor have the freedom of moving elsewhere and having more financial freedom.
savings.
I, yes, I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely. So it's about how do we get there. Um, the question is, if the wealthy now, like, how do you tax them in a way that's how do you tax? And here's the thing, like, I'm not fundamentally for taxing wealthy people, and that's what I really hate about Warren's plan, and I think it's really silly. She says she wants to tax everyone that has a net worth over 50 million. Like, how are you going to audit that? Like, how are you going to say you have this,
Net
like,
worth.
yeah, exactly. She wants a
Hmm.
2% net worth tax. So You're gonna go to
What
like
does that
every
mean?
like
What does that mean?
well, that's what I mean. Like you can go to a songwriter and you can say like, oh, you own this song and it's worth
That's
this much.
Obamacare. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
Obamacare was. It was like a
No,
ten
it's terrible.
percent net
It's
worth
terrible.
cap.
It's terrible. It's
I'm playing
because
that game.
and then you're gonna have capital flight as people are suggesting.
Oh
Like people
yeah.
are just gonna be like, I'm just gonna leave. And I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna have someone audit my assets right like every year and then
No.
tax me 2%. So that doesn't make any sense to me. Um,
So it's a every year it's like a
that's what Warren is proposing is it's a wealth tax, and then Bernie Sanders on top of it said there should be no billionaires, and then I was just like
oh my
we're a
god.
free country. We're a free country. You should want like if you want to be a billionaire, you can be a billionaire. Like that's
Sorry,
the whole point of the country
I
is you can
think
be
even
anything you
thinking
can
about I think even thinking about that like made my like brain rupture.
be. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
It's so interesting to
terrible.
see this whole debate kind of come out to light, right? And to see who wins that.
Literally there's like actual physical galvanic response to these policies.
I
Oh,
agree. But okay, so to your point,
look at Bernie. Look what Bernie did to me. That's real blood. That blood is just came out of my
you
head.
just,
That blood just came out of my head just thinking about that 2%. I'm
yeah,
like, every year
yeah.
I pay her
That was a
two
word. That was a
percent,
yeah.
so
That's a
she
word.
can. Let me guess, she gets out of it, right? Okay, cool. Thanks, coach.
Exactly.
Oh, this
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
Thank you,
yeah. No, I agree. You
thank
gotta
you,
wipe your head. You gotta wipe
Elizabeth.
her. She's crazy.
Thanks,
She's crazy.
Liz. It was real
Thanks, Liz.
blood.
Yeah,
You're
no,
literally
she's
killing me.
there. It is
I gotta
real.
wash my hands. Keep talking. You're doing great. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick.
It's awesome. Oh man. You're actually bleeding. That's fantastic. Oh man. So good. Oh. Ah, so funny. You back?
I'm back. That's
Yeah.
gross. I should keep a napkin around all the time. Weird.
I like how you said you were bleeding and then you actually were bleeding and
Yeah, I was like
you showed me.
2%.
No, yeah, it's 2% over 50 million or something, but still, like no one's gonna listen to that. I mean, it's kind of silly. But they're gonna either leave
Are these the
or
policies they're
they'll
really talking about?
yeah,
These are
that's
the
what I'm saying.
policies they're really talking
That's what
about?
I'm saying. I'm following this and I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, telling
California.
you.
What are the people? California's the one with all the people with that.
I know. That's what's crazy. It's like,
Hmm.
um, the only one and the reason why I brought that up is the UBI one. I think that one could have some merit. Like that one, I don't necessarily 100% agree with, but I think that it couldn't, it wouldn't necessarily be a killer.
Remember the stimulus, the $300 stimulus that one year? It was like, cool, thanks.
That's
It
yeah.
was like,
Oh, you
cool,
mean the tax return one?
that one like in 2008. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was like, oh wow, you're really pulling at straws here. Like, really? 300
Right,
bucks.
right.
This is the big kahuna. They made this big deal about this. And I'm like,
Mhm.
cool, this is like a
It's like
couple
maybe
grocery trips.
it's
Couple
like
gro
two dates.
300.
No, I
Two.
totally
I don't know. People say dates, and I'm thinking about like a calendar. Humans? Dates with humans? Okay. Good job. You did it.
but okay, so assuming in a vacuum, if you were to get a grand a month though, do
I
you,
actually get it.
okay, yes.
Oh, wow.
How quickly would that accelerate your plans for the future? Like how easy mode would that make it where you accelerate your plans?
It would only really accelerate it if I knew it was going to stick around. But I mean, it could.
Right.
It could, because then I could
It
offset
could.
it.
It could.
I
So
mean,
Elon Musk actually backed
but
this.
here's the problem. You know what I
Yeah.
probably would do with
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
work less, and then work on my
Do you think that's the true though?
I
But
probably
here's the
wouldn't. I probably keep working it.
that's what I mean. It's like if you're making a decent salary, like let's say you're making 80 grand a year, like are you gonna
It
stop your
might help.
work because you
It
get an
might
extra
help. It
grand?
might help with home ownership too, because people could save
That
up. Some people might do different
exactly
things, but we need to find out where this money's coming from, though. You're saying
right.
if
So it's
Amazon,
$3 trillion is the math, and then they're saying that
how
of
much does it
that
cost? 3 trillion.
it's 3 trillion a year because you take the total number of 18-year-olds multiplied by a grand a month, right? So it's
Okay,
about 2.8 to $3 trillion, and then they say that that's the headline cost, and about 800 billion you get from the VAT, the 10% VAT, and then I think there's a
10% VAT.
yeah, it's a
Oh my
10% VAT.
God,
Yeah, and again, it's restricted to certain amounts, and the rest
that's huge.
is
You want to pay another 10% on everything?
1.5 billion is used on current welfare benefits that would be kind of rolled into this value. Meaning, because if you came off of your welfare, you might
Wait a
elect
minute, we're
the
spending 1.5 trillion on welfare.
yes, yes,
I
yes.
need that $1,000 then, because it's
That's
crazy.
what I said. That's what I say.
Who's getting what?
They're getting yeah. Source is high.
Hi, Zora. All
Yeah,
right.
I'll finish it. Yeah. So yeah, so
Finish
that's what I
what?
mean. So 1.5, I think, is actually current benefits of people, and
1.5
yeah, and
trillion
so
dollars.
that's
Oh my
they say
God.
that they say that the UBI would not give anyone to who is incarcerated. So like it's an
Yeah,
incentive
I
not
think
to
they're
be in jail,
good. Yeah.
not to be in jail. And then and so it's a really interesting concept because then they say there's increased consumption because once you have
I
that
guess.
buying power, you're going to spend more money. You're going to have an extra date night out. You're going to have your car repairs, etc. Right?
Mm.
So that will generate the other income. So the whole amount, philosophically, they're arguing that's what's going to make it all up. It's people coming off the other benefits, the increased revenue stream, and then what did he pee? What happened? Oh, okay. So and then the rest is from the VAT. So that's how they factor it. But I'm just thinking if you had that, it would be like easy mode. Like you would have an
Yeah.
accelerated. Like
Right.
you already have your game plan, right?
Right. I have a
So
game
if
plan.
you were to get if you already had the K a month on top of what you're doing,
Hmm.
I mean that'd be pretty game changing. I think it'd be
Yeah,
like
that's true. Because I don't
yeah,
waste my money. It's like if I buy something, it's
agreed.
usually something I need,
You need exactly. So the consumption part
or it
won't
increases
hit
my
you.
efficiency. Like
Agreed.
I got
Agreed.
Star Trek. I did splurge. I did get Star Trek.
Yep. Yep.
Can you see it? Star Trek.
No, I don't see it. Where is it? Because I feel like
Did you see
so
it? Star Trek.
it's in the background. Is it by the
Do you
bird?
see
I
it
don't.
now? Do you see it now?
I'm looking at a bird.
Do you see me?
I see you and a bird.
Do you not see
And
Star Trek?
no, not yet.
Just wait for it.
It must be like 10. Oh! You're reaching out of this. Oh, there's a Star Trek.
I
Wait,
like
but
Star Trek. It's on Blu-ray.
dude, it's being blurred into the background because I guess
Sidekick.
your green screen in the back is okay. Now I see it. Yes,
Sidekick. I like
the
it
next generation. Love it.
because I feel like it's like it was pretty much on sale. It's like $80, and for
Yeah,
like it used to be like $60 per season,
yeah.
and it looks better than streamed. It looks like crispy,
Nice. I love it.
nice 4:3 formatting.
I love it.
4:3 black bars.
Love it.
But
Love it.
I mean, but the thing is, like, I feel like that show is good, but I don't buy things like that all the time. I might
Well,
get
that's what I mean. Like the consumption tax wouldn't hit you at all,
no,
really, right?
no, probably wouldn't. Probably
That's
maybe
what I'm
very rarely. Maybe if I got a new computer or something. Or,
right. But even then, 10% on your computer might be $100,
that's
right?
true.
So like on an
Hmm.
annual basis, it's like So that's why I
Is
was
it gonna
thinking
be on
about. I was like,
gas? Is it gonna be on gas?
no, it won't be on gas. So none of the basic consumption items, so food, gas, like the basic life necessities, because
But
the whole point is it's not supposed to tax the poor. Otherwise, what's the point of giving them money, right? Like, so,
What's the cutoff? Are they saying it's at a certain level you don't get
no,
it?
no, that's what I'm saying. It's universal, meaning regardless of if you make $10 million a year, you'll get $1,000 a month. So the metaphor that they were making is, if you're a rat and you're an elephant and you get a small slice of cheese that's this $1,000 a month, the rat is gonna be fucking. It's gonna be a life changer for the rat,
Right.
and for the elephant, they're like, who the fuck cares, right?
Right.
But but that's the ultimate effect I think they're going for, is helping the people who are the rats, right? And helping them get to a place where they feel comfortable enough to make a risk move to either go into a new job, caretake, for their kids at home, or do something different that maybe is not revenue generating for them currently, right? Or not revenue generating enough. So that's the argument for it, and it's universal in that there's no stigma tied to it, right? Like, I'm this on welfare, and then people look at you like, oh, you're on welfare, blah blah blah. It's like, no, you're just a citizen,
Less
and you
stigma.
get a different. Yeah, there's a huge stigma.
Right.
There's a huge, yeah. There's a I mean, can you imagine going to Safeway and then having to pull out your
Happens
well?
all the time. I
That's what I
see it
mean.
all the time. They do feel, and they're like, oh, don't put the alcohol on this one. We get it on the next one. And I'm just like,
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm
I've
like,
seen
what
it
are you
too.
drinking for at all, dude? Like, come on. I mean, if you're a
No,
little, but I don't say anything. I'm just, but they're like,
but
no, no,
but
no,
that's why.
don't put the booze on this one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do it
But
on
that
this one. And I'm
but
just like,
that's why they
bruh.
would choose the UBI over the welfare benefits every day, any day of the week, because of all the restrictions tied to the other benefits.
And they say, Bobby, just get the booze. Just get all booze. It's like, well, what are we gonna eat?
Exactly.
Booze. Okay.
You get the booze. You get the booze. You eat the
It
booze.
came from our UBI.
Mhm.
Oh wow. And then like the other guy's like, I'm gonna use this to invest in my I'm gonna use this to invest in my favorite stock.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And another one's like, I need the booze.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting way how this happens. I mean, for me, I'm following it because I want to see who the front runners will be, and this new concept has kind of intrigued me a little bit because it is a little bit libertarian in mind. It's saying, I trust you. I'm gonna give you the money, and you're gonna do what's best for you based on the money we give you, right? It's not like the government saying, I'm going to give you welfare benefits and you have to use it for food, or you have to use it for housing. You have to use it a certain way. It's more of like that libertarian concept of, use it, you will use it however it's best for you and your family, right? So like that
I
doesn't,
guess for how
yeah.
I wouldn't really classifying taxing things and having the government redistribute that.
Well, okay, but here's the argument against
That's
that
not
though.
really
It's like,
very
how
libertarian.
well, okay, I agreed, but how do you tax a company like Amazon that, like, through the current tax law would not pay any tax, right? Like, how do you get them to pay any tax? Like, we all pay federal tax. You and I pay
So
federal
so is
tax.
it how are they going to pay taxes on each?
So it's each transaction, like, they
Okay.
would have to pay, right? So it's not whether they're profitable or not profitable. It's like literally transaction. Every transaction you make, every search that's on Google, every Facebook ad, like every transaction, they get taxed. So meaning they can't get out of writing off the tax. They have to pay the tax, right? So
Hmm.
that's the argument, saying this is one way we can make tech actually pay the taxes, because their job as a company is to pay the least amount of taxes possible, and
Gotcha.
most of them are very successful in doing that, right? So that's the argument.
Well, pretty
And
smart guys, right?
yeah, they're all
Pretty,
smart. They have
pretty,
they
pretty
have
smart people, right? If they know how to build
they have an
robots.
army of smart
Smart people,
attorneys.
exactly. Of an army of smart peoples.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I think, if it's not, obviously I'm more conservative in nature. If it's not that side, I hope it's not Bernie. I hope it's not Warren. I think their resolutions to solving things are really addressing symptoms rather than the actual core issues, right? So they say, hey, wealth tax. I'm like, well, like, people are just gonna leave, and
Right.
it doesn't make any sense. Like, how do you do that? Um, And then Bernie's like 15 an hour for everyone. I'm like, that's gonna make every
It's
company
already
want to
more
push
than that.
towards.
It's already more than that at Burger King. Like,
Well, yeah, but like
honestly,
that's gonna
they
push
already pay.
companies to automation. That's gonna push more automation, and then more lost jobs, and then more people are not gonna be full time because they don't want to pay that benefit. It's so silly to me that they come up with like these. And here's the other thing: someone that's already making $15 an hour, that doesn't help them fucking anything, right? But the UBI, at least it gives them a supplement to their current salary. So like it's universal in that nature, which I can kind of accept as well. So it's an interesting concept, and it's being discussed now. We've talked about it before, and I've wanted to talk to you about it for a while now, actually, but I've been waiting because I didn't know
You've been
if.
waiting for the podcast.
Well, I've been waiting for the podcast, and I've been waiting to see if this would even be uh, a real life sort of like discussion, and it finally it is. It's finally on like their front stage, right? So we'll see what happens, but it's an interesting concept. I think the UBI concept in general, when I think about in terms of what we would do, I think it would be pretty game changing in general because I think it would just like make things way easier for us even, right?
It depends on if you
Um,
get your breads
th-
done. Do you, if you get your breads done, then yeah. How are
yeah.
you gonna get those breads done?
I'm gonna
Your
get
bread
those breads done.
buttons?
I'm gonna get bread buttons done,
Okay, good.
and then it'll be
Your
$5 a
you,
bread.
$5 a
Five,
bread.
and then if you don't have enough money, then you don't get no bread.
Don't give them no breads.
There's
Maybe you
no.
could use the universal. But you can use your.
Maybe I use CPI.
You
Maybe
can
I
add a
use
UBI button. So every time you get,
every
every
time,
time you do 31
every time,
breads, you get $1,000. 1,000 gold
and then you get 1,000 gold.
for more
Yeah, maybe,
breads.
maybe. Mm, mhm.
Universal bread income.
Yeah,
The game.
exactly.
And then I could show
Universal.
you how to color your text.
Thank you. Oh, there's a coloring
Oh
text. Oh,
yeah,
that's
we can
amazing.
even get it to change color
Oh, that's right, because it's
dynamically.
HTML.
That's right.
Yeah. So you can just do the font color, right?
Dynamically, and you can have JavaScript connect to that. Why don't we make a list of your favorite colors next time?
So my favorite color is blue.
Okay.
Love blue. And then
We could do variations. I think you should do RGB variation
RGB.
of blue,
Okay.
cyan, blue, cyan, navy blue.
I hear you. I'm trying to wipe my seat of the spilled beer.
Oh, there you go.
Ah. Um.
Do you think we should switch this to from educational to people and blogs? We'll see.
Maybe.
Maybe I would
Maybe.
switch it to
I'm having
people.
fun though.
I think we should
Having fun.
switch it to people or
Sure.
entertainment.
Yeah. Let's put it to people.
Entertain people.
People
People.
entertainment. People entertainment.
Okay. Although I feel like this is educational. I learned something today.
I learned something today too. This is fun. I am having fun. And man, we're gonna do something someday, Tyler,
That's right.
and we're gonna do something a lot of fun, and I think we're both really gonna enjoy it, regardless of what the net income revenue is, right?
That's right. Well,
So
I'm enjoying life now, so
that's what I'm
I'm
saying.
finally
Like
getting there.
that's
Right?
the goal. Is to enjoy
Yeah.
life. Enjoy life.
Yeah, and it's like, remember, life is not about like,
Counting pennies and dollars and cents.
well, I mean, like if you're into that, that's cool. But I think it's more about, can you come up with a way to be compensated for what you enjoy?
Yeah.
And then once you can make that more systematic in
Yep.
how you're doing it
And scale
and
it. Then
scalable, that's a
you're
win
set.
button. It's a win button.
Yeah,
But I
I
mean,
agree.
but even then, what is the purpose of an economy at all? It's so everybody gets what they need.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
once those needs are met, then you move on to luxuries, right? And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, a lot of people aren't getting what they need because they're let's face it, there are extremely everything is very addictive these days, right? So
Yep.
people are
Well, they're
getting
they're made to be that way. That's
it's
how they.
everything is so addictive. It's so crazy, right? People
And it's
are
all bait click. Everything's
everything's
click.
clickbait. Everything's clickbait.
Yeah.
Everything's what's it called? Like packed with sugar, right? So there's sugar, there's clickbait, there's stress, there's limbic system. There's all these different levels that people can get hooked on something because businesses think that's the only way to make money anymore
Yep.
is to
Yep.
get people hooked on some system. But the
Yep.
truth is, if a economy is focusing less on how they're going to get people hooked, and the economy is more focused on how they can provide a unique or a very tailored or high quality product to someone consistently, or maybe they just buy it once and then they're happy with it, right? But they can make multiple of those kinds of things. That's what films used to be like before they were all became the superhero film. Remember, it wasn't always superheroes, things like that. There's tons
Yeah.
of them now. It's like there's a new superhero show on TV, new superhero Netflix, new. I mean, it used to be more. It's because they've packaged a mix of sexy sizzle and violence.
Hmm.
They packaged it and they